I will be reading the Silvervale section of Cinder's 1,000-page Google Doc. Now, like I've said in previous videos, the reason why I'm doing this is because I think it is unfair for a lot of content creators to just look at Cinder's 1,000-page Google Doc and dismiss it or cherry pick certain tidbits in the doc to support the narrative back in April that was pushed, which Cinder's 1,000-page Google Doc does a good job refuting. So that's one of the reasons why. And another reason is so that way people can have a pseudo audiobook to hear what Cinder has to say. So not only do you get to see the words that she has to say regarding what happened to her back in April, but you can hear it with my voice. But yeah. So I'm almost done covering this 1,000-page Google Doc. I'm at like the 80% mark. Once I cover everything in this doc, I'm gonna put this to rest, not touch it. So there's that. Now, if you want to support Cinder, a link to her card will be in the description below. In the card, there will be links to her YouTube and Twitch. There's her socials, and I think there's a merch store somewhere in there. And guys, don't forget to use code Cinder on checkout at gamersupps.com to get 10% off your order. Is she still doing that? I don't know. I just thought I'd show some support there. Now, without further ado, let's get into it. There is 235 pages, at least how I look at it. Long story short, that just means I'm going to do a lot of reading, so this might be a long video. So before I get started, I'm not going to be reading the screenshots unless I deem it necessary. If you want to see me read those screenshots, check out the VODs of me reading everything in my Cinder situation analysis playlist. Enough said. So without further ado, let's get started. Silvervale. Silvervale's document for reference, posted on April 26, 2025 at 6:18 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Silvervale and I have never been friends. There were 3 reasons I tried to make some kind of connection with her throughout the years. I have been endlessly compared to and harassed about my similarities to Silvervale that aided my insecurities ever since I started my VTubing career. These comments weren't true, but I believe Silvervale bought into them and disliked me for it. If Silvervale and I could clear things up, be on good terms, and to be able to publicly acknowledge each other, it would have helped to end the harassment both of us were getting for so long. Any creative or business endeavors Silvervale and I did together could have been very successful and benefited us both. I've gotten countless requests from fans asking for this. Brett had lots of ideas of potential things we could have done, and I was always open to working together with her. I genuinely sought a friendship with someone I was repeatedly told was very similar to me in our personalities, likes, and interests. Silvervale was never obligated to do any of these things, and I never felt that she was. I just wanted to get along. For so long, I held out hope that we could talk things out, but she showed me through her own behavior how she really felt about me due to no actions of my own. My pursuit to fix things between us turned to mixed feelings, and after she repeatedly gave me reason to, I grew to resent Silvervale by the summer of 2024. The never-ending harassment for copying her and other circumstances around her didn't help, and the times I confided in my friends about my experiences with Silver, they'd all agree with me and tell me their own stories about her. It was Silvervale's dislike of me and her actions towards me throughout the years that informed mine and Red's opinion on Shy Lily's and her feelings about me before I was cancelled. Silver wouldn't acknowledge me by name when I'd raid her, ghosted my messages for months, and got her model from Nano at a very suspicious time. A similarly petty pattern of behavior without any communication. Here are some of the things I said about Silvervale in my apology. I grew more and more resentful of Silver over time, between the constant belittling of myself, a controversy around my first waifu cup, and other incidents, even though she herself never interacted with me directly. And it was also that fact that made me insecure, like I wanted to know if she believed all of these things or not, and really felt as if she didn't like that I even existed in the same space. Silver was completely undeserving of this treatment, and it was my own insecurities that led me to making this choice. I became unapologetically evil towards her due to no direct action of her own. I was so wrong for letting everyone get in my head about all these malicious feelings. I'm so sorry for any opportunities I've taken away from you. I was overly apologetic because of the severity of the moment. I chose not to go into detail about any of my interactions with Silver, and even said there wasn't any between us when there was. I felt awful about the feelings I had about her, calling myself unapologetically evil when I wasn't. I did not sabotage Silvervale. I agreed to ask Nano not to work with her on models anymore, where Silver lost nothing, and I apologized for the opportunities I took from her when there really wasn't any. In doing so, I gave Silvervale the ability to fill in the gaps in the story however she wanted. Despite apologizing to her for evils far beyond what I've actually ever done, it didn't stop Silvervale from confidently lying about me when she finally had the chance. Silver said that she wanted her community to be fully informed about everything, so below is my full experience with and around Silvervale, ending with a breakdown of her document and a showcase of all of the lies she told on her stream. Throughout the start of the timeline, I'll praise the screenshots of Red's retelling of events to Nano from May 2023 to show that he wasn't lying to her. They're highlighted with a blue border like his commentary. That conversation is also included below, just like it was in Nano's section of this document. Everything is in chronological order, and all dates and times are in Eastern Standard Time. I've censored any private information or names of people who aren't directly involved. Screenshots that include messages that were in any of the documents are highlighted with a red border. Screenshots that are directly of or taken from another document are highlighted with an orange border. Dates and important messages within any screenshots are highlighted in yellow. Quotes from my apology are highlighted in gray. Red zone comments on anything being presented are labeled and highlighted in blue. Accusations of copying Silvervale. I have been accused, compared, and harassed for years by people thinking I copied everything about Silvervale, including my personality, voice, and even my laugh. I was never going to address this publicly, but I'm taking this opportunity to lay everything out and show that I didn't copy her. A quote from my apology. Since I started streaming, I have been ruthlessly compared to Silvervale, being called the discount version of her. I was accused of copying her design, copying her personality, even copying her laugh of all things. And there was a large number of people who were die-hard believers in the fact that I stole all of these attributes maliciously for my own gain, citing the art I posted of us together, calling her an inspiration, when in reality this was referring to the decision to become a hellhound. Before November of 2020, what I knew about Silvervale was as much as I knew about the only other Western VTubers at the time, almost nothing. I knew who she was, but I didn't watch her content. It was only after VShojo debuted and Silver rebranded did I start following her. November 15th, 2020. My original VTuber concept based on my ASMR persona was finished, and I was waiting to work with the artist Red and I contacted to design my character in December. I was originally going to be a cherry blossom wolf girl. November 24th, 2020, VShojo was announced. This was Silvervale's original design and description on VShojo's website. And there it is. The same day, Red emailed the artist that was designing my character that we are changing our plans. Red references Silver's design above in his message. In my apology, I said, the only time Silvervale was mentioned in the original designing of my character was when we explained why we were pivoting up to something else, and there were no references of her character involved. Silvervale had her re-debut stream to reveal her new model in Sakura Wolf design later that same night on November 24th, 2020. December 8th, 2020, the details for Cinder's character was finished. Name. The original name we had in mind was Ember, but thought it was too generic. Red came up with the name Sinder by combining Sin with Cinder, Sin relating to Hell and Cinder to Fire, which made Cinder the Hellhound, and I liked the wordplay aspect of it. It had nothing to do with it sounding like Silver. The name Embers was going to be reused for my fan base, but we scrapped it and didn't have a fan name until much later. Personality. You can see from my original character sheet from November 15th, 2020 above, in Silver's description on the VShojo website, that Silver and I inherently share a lot of personality traits. Art tag. Hashtag Cinderdoodle came from it sounding like Snickerdoodle, relating to my love of sweets, but also to drawings of me. It was intended to be used for my own artwork I'll show below too, Cinder's Doodles. The other idea was hashtag Sindra, like hashtag Joshi, but I didn't like the way it sounded. Our choice had nothing to do with Silver's art tag being hashtag Doodlevale. Design. Below is the document where all of the references were given to the artist to design Cinder. None of them are of Silvervale. Cinder's bangs are based off of my hair in real life. Oh, so you get to see the history of Cinder, which is actually pretty cool. Not gonna lie. December 16th, 2020. My design was finished. I've never held I've never held changing my original design from a Sakura wolf to a hellhound against Silver. I was thankful for it, since Cinder was a much better idea than what I had before, and it's what led to me to calling her an inspiration soon after this. Her reference sheet. Referencing Silvervale. When my character design was finished, I then needed to get stream assets. Red and I looked over all of the popular VTubers' credits at the time to find artists we liked who we could work with. That included Silvervale's. There's a handful of things that I referenced from Silver throughout the years that aren't included in this document, such as emotes and 3D models. December 20th, 2020. We liked Silver's chibi art on her Twitch panels and her stream alerts. Red messaged the same artist that made hers for exactly those things, citing Silver as a reference. We got to know this artist and they became our friend. They were the only artists in the VTubing space we really knew at the start of 2021 and happened to be mutual friends with Silvervale. Fan art of Silvervale. After I had a character design, I had planned to draw a series of fan artwork of myself with different VTubers I liked, looked up to, or were an inspiration to me in some way, and post them using my hashtag Cinderdoodle tag. I had 4 planned, started 3, but only ever finished 1. I chose to draw Silvervale first because I thought our designs looked the best next to each other. I was going to draw Fruit because she was an inspiration and reference I used for my design, and Bow because she was one of my first inspirations to get into VTubing aside from Hollow Myth. In my apology, I said I was genuinely interested in pursuing a friendship with her and drew fan art myself of us together. November 15th, 2021. I posted a picture of the artwork I was working on. I drew it on paper, scanned it, then finished it on my tablet laptop. January 31st, 2021. I posted the finished art. I called Silver an inspiration because she inspired Cinder's creation. Without her rebranding into a Sakura wolf, Cinder wouldn't exist. I used hashtag Cindervale because I thought it was a cute way to put our names together that went with the art. Me saying maybe we'd be part of the same pack was about my ambition to be part of VShojo at the time, the big new Western VTuber group. After it was posted, Silver's mom saw my art, liked it, retweeted it, and commented on it. This image is from the Wayback Machine, archived from the same date since this original tweet was deleted. I don't know why this would even have a snapshot in the Wayback Machine at all, or why the page is in German. I had under 5,000 followers at the time. The only reason I have this post linked to even find it on the Wayback Machine is because Silvervale did, and she showed it on her stream on April 30th, 2025. February 1st, 2021. By the next morning, Silver's mom had deleted her comment, unliked my tweet, and unretweeted it. Red messaged our artist mutual friend, freak, my brain. Red messaged our artist mutual friend and told them what happened and asked if I did something wrong. I had no way of contacting Silver or her mom to ask them directly, so Red brought it up to them thinking they might know. They pointed out the hashtag Cindervale tag as the problem. I came from the cosplay community, and I know what a ship tag is. VTubers have art tags, meme tags, general tags, and more. I did not intend for the tag I used to come across as a ship tag with someone I haven't even met, and it was stupid of me to not have even thought of it. I deleted the tweet right after and never used hashtag Cindervale again. Red's DMs with the artist. Later that day, Silver messaged me directly, and I completely understood where she was coming from. I made a mistake, and I was so upset with myself that this was my first interaction with her. My DMs with Silvervale. Red's DMs with the artist after I spoke to Silver. February 5th, 2021, I reposted my artwork and rewrote part of my tweet. Silver's fan art was the only one I ever did because I felt anxious and discouraged by how this situation played out. Besides replying to her tweets, this was my last and only interaction with Silvervale until late 2022. Almost 2 years later. People have used the fact I called Silver an inspiration in this tweet as evidence for me copying her. Demon Design, November 16th, 2021. Since some people think that my demon design was a way to copy Silver's goddess design, and Red later made the comparison to Nano in their DMs, I wanted to show the timeline for it here. This was when I first brought the idea to Nano. The idea came from seeing Fruit's evil alternate design a year earlier in December of 2020, and I knew I wanted to have a similar outfit since then. December 2nd, 2021. Silvervale revealed her goddess design for the first time. December 13th, 2021, my demon design was started. February 27th, 2022, the original unused demon design was finished. It was later updated and made into a new model that debuted in 2023. My first model debut, June 25th, 2022. I debuted my first model after over a year of trying to get one. I was finally able to use and show off my model by Nano, which was the third one she ever made, but the first one she made after I had taught her by another artist to cut art layers correctly for Live 2D. Oh, after I had her taught by another artist to cut art layers correctly for Live 2D. I can read, I swear. I was harassed for allegedly copying everything about Silvervale. My model was also directly compared to her original Live 2D model as looking too much alike, being used as proof that I must have copied her. By Red's account, Silvervale was lurking in my chat sometime during my debut stream while he was modding. She was gifted sub while there, but never said anything. She never followed me on Twitch or Twitter, and never acknowledged me after. June 30th, 2022. Starting a few days after my debut, Silver started to advertise her big brand new model being worked on. July 9th, 2022. July 30th, 2022. Unfortunately, her model wasn't going to be ready for her birthday, so sometime in July she decided to get a replacement model. She asked Nanoist just weeks after my debut. Nano was not a well-known model artist back then. I was her third model she ever made, and I had her trained on how to cut her art for Live 2D. By July 30th, 2022, Nano already had Silver's model fully drawn. Red sent me this copy-pasted message from Silver in her server. I responded with great, because we both knew that if Nano was making her a new model, I was going to be accused of copying her again. What the heck? August 2nd, 2022. Silver tweeted she was going to review plushie collections on stream. I replied with my plushie collection hoping she'd see it. It was another thing we both had in common, and now that I was actually a VTuber, I was hopeful to be able to connect with her and move past the awkward fanart situation from 2021. She never did the stream. It could have been for any reason that she didn't, but looking back and seeing that my reply to her was the most liked one, it would have been seen. I feel she had no reason other than not wanting to acknowledge or platform me in any way by going through these replies on her stream. This matched her behavior towards me going forward. August 12th, 2022. I reposted my fan art for Silver's birthday, and she debuted her new model from Nanoist just a month and a half after mine. Even though I debuted my model from Nano before Silver, I was still accused of copying her and that I got a model from Nano because she did. Twitchcon 2022. October 8th, 2022. I tweeted a meme during Twitchcon weekend a little while before going to Silvervale's meet and greet. I was planning to go to introduce myself to her directly since our last personal interaction was when I first made my fan art. This was an older inside joke between Red and I and wasn't a meme going around. At one of my impromptu meet and greets during this TwitchCon, I had someone bold enough to confront me and ask me about copying Silvervale's model and artist. I had to clarify to them that she got her model from Nano after I did. I went to Silver's meet and greet with Aru and Red. This was the first time I spoke with her directly since my DMs with her on Twitter at the start of 2021. While we were waiting in line, or right after the meet and greet, Aru suggested the idea of a canine collab between us two and Silver. This is the image of us meeting Silver that Aru posted later that day. I did not make my own tweet about meeting Silver. Here was Silvervale's reply to Aru's tweet. October 11, 2022. I messaged Aru on my way home from TwitchCon if she was actually planning to ask Silvervale about the collab together, which she did. The screenshot of Aru's DMs with Silver that she sent me. She never got back to Aru about this. Silver said here that a collab together would be a ton of fun. October 16th, 2022. Silver tweeted her own version of my meme a week after mine, before I was retroactively accused of copying her again. I replied to her tweet with my own. This was not a meme format going around, and I don't own this format by any means, but the fact she just so happened to do the same thing I did right after I went to her meet and greet without following me on Twitter and without ever acknowledging me was very off-putting. October 17th, 2022. A mutual friend introduced Silver and I directly in a Minecraft server we were both part of while I was streaming. They chose to take me around and introduce me to lots of people, including Silver. I did not ask them to meet her. Outside of Silver's meet and greets at Twitchcon in 2022 and 2023, this was the only time we've spoken verbally and the only time we've interacted in a stream setting. On my stream. Silvervale was not streaming. November 30th, 2022. After becoming a VTuber myself, meeting her in person, being introduced by a mutual friend, and playing in the same Minecraft server for a while, another interest we had in common, and looking past the things she might have been doing towards me, I had built up the confidence to try reaching out to Silver again. I was able to DM her on Twitter because of my fan art situation. Otherwise, I would have had no way of contacting her. Her DMs are closed to people she doesn't follow, and I wasn't friends with her on Discord. I refrained from messaging her for almost 2 years because I didn't want it to be weird and embarrassing like our first interaction ended up being. I didn't ask her for a collab, or try using her, or try to profit off of her. I asked her if she just wanted to hang out in Minecraft off stream to get to know each other over a game we both enjoyed. Silvervale never replied, and I never pushed or pressured her to. This is what I said in my apology. I tried reaching out some time ago to try to start up a friendly conversation to change things and make things right. Say hi to you at conventions and support your endeavors, but despite all that, I was still being eaten alive by my own doubts and fear or harassment. I was pressured by the community as a whole to try reaching out to collaborate since I got these messages so often comparing us, and I hoped we could work something out. December 2nd, 2022. 2 days after messaging Silver, and almost 2 months after TwitchCon, I thought about the call-out with Silver and Aru and asked her if she ever heard from Silvervale about it. Aru never said anything about this again, and I didn't ask about it again. It was okay with me that this never happened. Aru would later admit she never actually messaged Silvervale like she said below. Community and Mascot name. November 11th, 2022. The first time the name Pyropup was ever brought up was from a viewer who suggested it since I didn't have a community name yet. I didn't want to choose a name at that point because I didn't have a mascot designed yet. My chat really liked the name though. January 26, 2023. 2 months later, I revealed the finished design of my mascot and asked my chat for name suggestions. Its placeholder name was Little Friend. One of the names suggested was Pyropup again, and my chat ultimately chose it. January 28th, 2023. Then, April 12th, 2023. I messaged Nano about starting on some pose ideas for my first waifu cup when she was ready and available to. April 21st, 2023 to April 22nd, 2023. I had raided Silvervale and she didn't acknowledge me by name. I have raided Silver multiple times over the years and every time she refused to say my name when, for anyone else I've seen, she would. After this raid, Red and I both separately messaged one of our friends about it. We confided in this friend about my situation with Silvervale and Spite at WeebCon 2023 a couple weeks before this, where they offered to try talking to Silver about me. As far as we know, they never did, and these were the only messages to them about Silvervale. 50 minutes, 10 seconds in to Silvervale Plays Dead Island 2 Episode 1 on Silvervale's Twitch archive. April 26, 2023. One of my friends and I had a conversation about Silvervale leaving V Shoujo, which led me to open up to them about my experience with her. There are gaps in the screenshots where irrelevant things were being talked about. I also want to point out that the emote reaction to my message below about genuine friends wasn't there before, and this friend deleted at least one message of theirs from an unshown part of this conversation. When I said somebody did that to me, it was in reference to Spite, although she was never discussed here. Everything about Spite will be addressed in her section. April 30th, 2023. I told Nano I was trying to get her the okay to work on my waifu cup art on stream so it'd be easier for her, and I told her how much it meant to me to have the first waifu cup with her artwork on it. May 4th, 2023 to May 5th, 2023. Red asked about Nano's projects about when Silver contacted her about her model made in 2022 and encouraged her to set aside time for her own content. Red. I asked Nano about when she made Silver's first model from her because we grew suspicious of it. We grew blah 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 blah. Red. I asked Nano about when she made Silver's first model from her because we grew suspicious of if it had anything to do with Sinder and her debut about a couple months earlier. The few things that happened with Silver by this point in time made us believe she had a problem with Sinder. Silver had worked with Nano before, and she wasn't known for making models in summer of 2022. Nano had only done 3 models at that time, including Cinder's. Sinder debuted on June 25th, 2022, and since I was modding the chat, I saw Silvervale lurking at the start of the stream for a little while when Cinder was introducing herself. I have no proof, since I didn't think I'd ever need a screenshot of it, but I've been present modding in 99% of Cinder's streams ever since. Since Cinder came out with her design in 2021, she was always compared and harassed about being a copy of Silvervale. There was only one direct interaction between Silver and Cinder before her debut when she made fan art of them together. We had also been working with a mutual artist friend of Silver's for a lot of that time, who was first drawing Cinder's model before it fell through. Silver knew who Cinder was, and Cinder was gaining popularity right off the bat. If Silver believed Cinder was ripping her off, then upstaging her with a new model by the same artist right after her debut would be a great way to do it. After Silver's debut in August, Cinder was harassed that she copied Silver's model too. Being a much smaller creator than her at the time, people didn't realize Cinder actually debuted first. May 5th, 2023. I thanked Nano for the waifu cup artwork she made for me, and her scale figure was announced. May 9th, 2023 to May 10th, 2023. Red talked to Nano about the situation with my first waifu cup, which led to him revealing our experience with Silvervale over the past 2 years. Before this, I was told that Silvervale had her own waifu cup with Nano's artwork on it that was already far into production. I was very excited and proud to have the first cup with Nano's art, and all of a sudden that wasn't going to be the case. Not only that, but if my cup was going to be released after Silver's, I would have been harassed for copying her again. Red, I did not lie to Nano about anything I said in this conversation, and I would have had no reason to. Everything I said was as I genuinely thought and experienced, speaking to a friend I trusted. Red, Silver didn't like Cinder, and how she would respond to Cinder's raids is the past experience we had to infer that Lily's reactions to her raids, along with her other behavior, signaled she had a problem with Cinder. Red, Nano, don't worry, I love gossips. Nano's always been open to talking about drama and gossip with me. In between these screenshots, Red told Nano the story about the long process of getting my first model, but it's not relevant to show here. Red, I'm using Weir here, but Cinder had no idea this conversation was happening until I told her about it later. I was speaking for both of us without her knowledge or consent. Red, I didn't realize this message was cut off when these screenshots were taken. They briefly talked about Silver leaving the shoujo between these screenshots. Red, Nano clarified to me that she was the one who went to Silver about a new model when she told me about it on May 4th, 2023, but was already regretting it due to not being up for more model work. Nano taking on more models than she can handle will continue to happen over the next couple years. Red told me the gist of this conversation with Nano, and the next morning I messaged her about it. Later in our conversation, we were talking about my scale figure that was in pre-production. When Nano suggested I have Good Smile make my demon figure, I said they didn't even want Silver, which is something I heard from another friend. Good Smile is very hard to get to work with. She was a much larger creator than me at the time, so I thought my chances of working with them were even smaller. I chose to keep this in, and I'm pointing this out because it's the only time I said anything mean about Silver in any of my DMs with anyone. Mod number 1. May 13th, 2023. I had Discord and Twitch moderator applications open, and one of Silver's mods applied. They were chosen because of their experience modding for another large VTuber. I'll refer to them as mod number 1. May 12th, 2023 to May 13th, 2023. I asked Nano to record some voice lines for my lore video or my upcoming debut. I asked a lot of my friends to participate. A couple of the lines I gave them were in reference to the comments I got about Silvervale. May 15th, 2023, I messaged Nano to tell her we needed to change the artwork on one side of my waifu cup because it was too similar to Silver's. July 14th, 2023 and July 21st, 2023. Nano and Supps were able to work incredibly hard to get my waifu cup released before Silvervale's. It was important to me to have the first cup with Nano's art on it because of how much she meant to me, and what it meant to me to be the first one to represent her on one. I was incredibly anxious about the harassment I'd get for copying Silver again if mine was released right after hers with the same artist. I was worried that my drop would be overshadowed by the first full color cup too. July 14th, 2023, there's this X post. July 21st, 2023, here's another X post by Silver. Oh, just an X post from Silvervale. This is what my waifu cup was originally supposed to look like. With the Flameheart artwork on one side, I had the same Flameheart kiss animation on my model, and I loved having it represented here. I was made to change it to avoid being too similar to Silvervale's cup. Silver's artwork was finished a long time before mine. I was at least able to use it on my desk mat, but I was still incredibly upset it wasn't the art on my cup or shirt. This was not Silver's fault, and I never blamed her for this, but this added to my negative experiences around her. July 18th, 2023 to July 19th, 2023. Red messaged Nano about Silver asking about a model right after my Demon model debut. Red, Nano mentioned to me that more people are contacting her for models because of Sinder. Red, after I asked, Nano told me Silver already asked her for a model after Cinder's Demon debut, which was 3 days before this. When I enthusiastically said, wait, you tell her no? About that model, Nano had the ability to tell me no. Silver was still her client regardless of how I felt about it, which I accepted. That's just business. Her calling Silver Cinder's enemy at the time were her words, not mine. And not how we viewed Silvervale at this time, just someone treating her unfairly. Red, we just wanted Silver to get along with Cinder, but we could recognize the way she'd always acted towards Cinder. Red, me saying I think Cinder and Silver will always be fighting for your work behind the scenes is the first instance of me implying we would eventually be competing directly with anyone. Red, Nano, may I know what's up? Kinda like to gossip. Nano's always been open to talking about drama and gossip with me. Red, Nano got tired of hearing about drama around Silvervale specifically. Red, again, I mentioned competition with Silver because of the fact she couldn't get along, leading to my thoughts about her being competition down the road, but I was sympathetic to Silver's point of view, though. But I was sympathetic to Silver's point of view, too. I can read. Red, I said we were fighting for Cinder and Silver's shared audience's wallets with our cups and figures, because Cinder's and Silver's first waifu cups dropped a week apart on July 15th, 2022 and July 21st, 2022, and their scale figures a month apart on July 15th, 2022 and August 12th, 2022. We undercut Silver's figure by having an earlier release date than her to avoid Cinder being accused of copying her again. We wanted Silver to at least be on good terms with Cinder. Anyone could see the potential success they'd have working together, including the money they could make. Twitchcon 2023, October 20th, 2023. Silver and I had back-to-back meet and greets at the Mythic Talent booth at Twitchcon. When mine ended, I saw her line wasn't busy, so I hopped into it to say hi to her. The last time I tried talking to her was my Twitter message about Minecraft almost a year earlier. A year earlier, I can say that word. Another friend of ours happened to be there to see Silver too, so I waited in line with them. When I saw her, I congratulated her on her Novel Horizons figure and Starforge PC that were both displayed at Mythic's booth, told her she should be proud of all the cool things she was doing recently, and I wished her luck on whatever she was planning next. Silver nodded along, thanking me, and I left. Red took a picture of me talking with her in the moment, which is not something either of us planned to do beforehand. Later in the day, I posted it on Twitter. I didn't see the harm in posting a cute picture of us together. We were both with Mythic Talent, everyone wanted to see us interact, and showing us on friendly terms could stop the harassment. And I said in my apology, the photo of me at the meet and greet was taken candidly, and I thought it looked so cute, and I posted it without asking you, which was wrong of me. Right after I tweeted, Red messaged our Mythic contacts about asking Silvervale to do something together. October 23rd, 2023. Silvervale messaged me on Twitter 3 days later, where she said she isn't interested in collabs but is always down if I want to message or anything though. Sometime after this message giving me the okay, I sent Silver a friend request on Discord. My messages with Silvervale. Here are all of my DMs with Silver after she said to contact her on Discord. Since only a few of them have been shown, I will go over them below. This quote for my apology applies here too. I tried reaching out some time ago to try to start up a friendly conversation to change things and make things right, say hi to you at conventions and support your endeavors, but despite all that, I was still being eaten alive by my own doubts and fear or harassment. I was pressured by the community as a whole to try reaching out to collaborate since I got these messages so often comparing us, and I hoped we could work something out. October 25th, 2023 to November 3rd, 2023. Silver messaged me after accepting my friend request. This was our first and only conversation in our DMs. After turning down a collab, I brought up every other thing Red had talked about us doing together to see what she thought and get it out of the way now. On the other hand, Red was in my ear the whole time saying how great working together would be since again, he's been the business-oriented side of my brand. Maybe Silver just didn't want to stream together and would be open to doing something else. I didn't say it at the time, but I also brought these things up because of the dozens and dozens of requests I'd see of fans wanting us to do something together too. I said, I'd love to chat more either way, followed by I completely understand when she turned me down again. Silver never showed that message and it was cut off in her document. This was the final of 2 times I ever asked Silver to do something together, and the first and only time I asked her to do something professionally together. I didn't mind her saying no, I was just glad to finally be able to talk and try to connect. While Red had lots of ideas for us to work together, I wanted to try fixing whatever problem she had with me and at least be on good terms. If the public saw us friendly with each other, then I believed the harassment would stop. November 15th, 2023. I messaged Silver after I received her Gamer Supps merch. I supported all of my model sisters, even Silvervale. This message was used in Silver's own document against me to make it seem like I was taunting her, claiming that Red and I were planning to force Nano cancel Silver's model. I sent this before she had the conversation with Red where Nano canceled Silver's model herself. I replied to Nano's tweet showing off mine and Silver's merch the next night too. November 17th, 2023. Here are Red's DMs with Nano, 2 days after my message to Silver when Nano made the decision to remove Silvervale from her waitlist and cancel her model. The full conversation was in Nano's section of this document. Red, only 2 minutes after I asked her what she could get rid of, she showed me she removed Silvervale's and Cotton's model from her waitlist. Then she said she was going to blame it on Mio, her manager and husband, because she's dying with her commissions. Red, I didn't ask Nano to cancel anyone's models. She chose to cancel Cotton and Silver's models herself. Even though I was biased about Silvervale, I had nothing against Cotton back then and didn't even say anything once to Nano about her. Yet, she chose to cancel her model too. She said she was feeling more light, implying that she really was dying with her commissions. I told her she should do what's best for herself. After Nano first showed me her new waitlist, I told Sinder she canceled Silvervale's model. She was trying to buy a house and that we could give her more work to help her. She was excited to do as much as we could for Nano. Nano told me about Silver's model in July, but it was only cancelled here in November. If I was the one who had Silver's model cancelled, why did I tell her it was okay and then wait 4 months to force and manipulate Nano to cancel it? Why would Nano have been able to tell me no in July about Silvervale and then never again or about anyone else? Here's Nano canceling the model with Silver in their DMs blaming Mio and her workload. This screenshot is from Silver's document. Red didn't ask or make Nano cancel Silver's model, image from Silver's document. This is what Red told Nano in May about working with Silver. In July, Nano told Red that Silver was still her client, no matter how he may have felt about it. And here's Nano in her own public Discord server the very next day on November 18th saying she's healthier and less stressed after choosing to remove Silver and Cotton from her commission waitlist. Another day later on the 19th, when Red and Nano were talking again, Red commented on Silver finding another model artist. Red, I hope Silver would find someone else to do her model so she wouldn't come back to Nano for one. Unlike Sinder, by this point in time, I had already basically written off Silvervale because of the undeserved way she treated her. After clearing things up between them, Nano told Red she was going to take back Silver's model, but never did. But here's Nano's reaction on April 26, 2025, to finding out about my message to Silvervale, and the image of how it was portrayed in Silver's document. Nano would have known exactly what happened with Silver's model. December 6, 2023, I messaged Silver about our VTuber Award nomination. February 16th, 2024, I messaged Silver to congratulate her on her new model she debuted. When I went to her stream to support her, my messages weren't sending. I didn't know what the problem was at the time, but came to find out later that I was restricted in her chat, meaning all of my messages were held for review and only visible to her and her mods. Silver had been ghosting my messages for months, but I gave her the benefit of the doubt that she just genuinely missed them. She told me she was always down if I want to message. When this happened, despite everything telling me not to, I still clung on to the hope that we could make amends. I wasn't oblivious to the way Silver had been treating me since I first debuted, and maybe I was too naive in thinking this way. There were multiple times I thought to just straight up ask her about the problems between us so we could try and work our differences out, but I never had the courage to send that message. Gamer Supps flavors. April 19th, 2024 and April 26th, 2024. Silver's Gamer Supps flavor launched 1 week before mine. Once again, I was told I was copying her, not just because her flavor was out before mine, but because we both had a label drawn by Nano. This was the second time our Gamer Supps launches were back to back. April 19th, 2024, Silvervale's Sakura Splash X Post. April 26th, 2024, Sinder's Pyro Power X Post. May 4th, 2024, I messaged Silver to congratulate her on her Gamer Supps flavor. This was the last message I ever sent to her. Red's conversations with mod number 1. May 7th, 2024. I had mod applications open again, and another 2 of Silvervale's moderators applied after being encouraged to by mod number 1. Red messaged mod number 1 for their opinion on these new applicants. They've been modding for Silver for almost 2 years alongside them. Red then asked about me being restricted in her Twitch chat a few months earlier, and if there were any problems her mod team had with me since mod number 1 had been around for a long time. Mod number 1 asked Red to keep their conversations private from me. I was never told about these conversations Red was having with them or what he was told by mod number 1 over the following year until Red and I were putting this document together. Red, I want to apologize to mod number 1 for including our messages here. I hope you understand. Red, mod number 1 told me they encouraged these couple of Silver's mods to apply to our mod application. May 8th, 2024. The other 2 of Silver's mods who applied were accepted because of their experience and recommendation from mod number 1. May 24th, 2024. Silver had tweeted her own version of this emote saying, "Hi," and I replied to her using my Pyropup one. Shortly after, she deleted her tweet and never reposted it. This was the last time I tried interacting with Silvervale. You can see this was a reply to @Silvervale here. After this, I gave up on holding out hope for fixing things between Silver and I. She had a problem with me for years and never wanted to address it. I would have preferred if she told me off directly instead of being fake to my face. May 25th, 2024, the next day, Red messaged mod number 1 about the tweet. They told him that the post was shared in Silver's Discord server. Users there were wishing for a collab between us, and then all of their messages were deleted. May 30th, 2024, mod number 1 messaged Red and told him that more of my emotes were getting blacklisted in Silver's chat. June 24th, 2024, mod number 1 told Red that they suspected Silver may have cancelled her stream due to my 2nd anniversary subathon, citing that she said in her announcement. They've been modding for her for about 2 years and would have a good idea of her motivations. My actual VTuber debut anniversary is on June 25th. I don't have a screenshot of her announcement since Red was banned from her server and I was never in Silver's server. June 25th, 2024. Red expressed concern to mod number 1 about the treatment of the mods Silver and I shared. Mod number 1 told Red that everything they've seen from Silver's side has been petty drama. July 11th, 2024. Mod number 1 told Red that her chatters found out that my name was a blocked term in her chat. July 19th, 2024. Mod number 1 messaged Red again about the drama in Silver's mod chat about me. Messages between 2 of Silver's moderators, not including mod number 1, talking about how I was restricted in her Twitch chat. One of the same mods above made an analogy about what I can only assume is me occasionally chatting in Silver's Twitch chat and replying to her tweets as if I was trying to take her crowd away from her. This analogy and them saying, "I have told you in private multiple times to very nicely, please leave me alone in every aspect of my life," didn't come from nowhere. It leads me to believe this is what Silver had been telling her mods happened between us. As you can see by the entirety of our DMs I've shown, nothing even similar to this was ever once said to me by Silvervale, even after I reached out to her directly about my messages not sending in her chat. Here is the screenshot of mod number 1's conversation with another one of Silver's mods that they sent Red. Mod number 1 is green. My Bikini debut and Silvervale's birthday. As early as March 2024, Red and I were planning a Gamer Supps merch drop with my 2nd waifu cup for my anniversary on June 25th. Everything wasn't going to be ready in time, so at the end of April we pushed it back to August to launch alongside my bikini outfit debut. I wanted that debut to be between my VTuber anniversary on June 25th and my birthday on September 14th, and since my first bikini debut was in October of 2022, I wanted to actually debut it in the summer this time. We planned for August 16th. At first, we were given the okay that August 16th was available to launch my merch, almost 2 months later. We were told we couldn't launch that day because another creator was having their own drop and it was requested at the start of the year. It wouldn't have mattered if it wasn't another VTuber, but since we were told it was a similar drop to ours, and for a special date, Red pieced together that it could only be Silvervale. The timing chosen for my August debut and drop we were planning had nothing to do with Silvervale or her birthday. Once Red figured out it was her who was launching something at the same time as me for the third time in a row, unintentionally throwing a wrench in things again, and after my interactions with her since Twitchcon, is when I became competitive towards Silver. We doubled down in trying to launch the weekend of the 16th, if not on the 16th itself. We did eventually compromise to launch the week before on August 9th, even if it wouldn't be alongside my debut. However, a couple weeks before the release, we were told the 16th was suddenly available, so we moved my drop to that day. Silver launched her birthday merch drop with her new 3D model debut on August 13th, a day after her birthday, and I launched my merch drop alongside my bikini outfit debut on August 16th. August 14th, 2024, Silver's tweet was on the 14th, but her drop was released on the 13th. August 16th, 2024, Sinder's Gamer Supps merch X post. Silvervale debuted a 3D model with two separate outfits. You can see the pose, design, and theming of the two outfits in this artwork. Back in 2023, I debuted my 2.0 outfit and demon models, which were a pair to each other. You can see the pose, design, and theming of the two outfits in this artwork from the same artist as the one above. Nano's exclusivity deal in artist number 1. Like was shown in Nano's and Bao's sections, artist number 1 wanted to discuss a permanent paid position with us, and suggested some kind of exclusivity for the work they did. Just like with Nano, Red handled any business-related discussions with them. This is where the idea to go to Nano about exclusivity came from. Red and I had agreed we should ask Nano to not accept any more brand new model clients and to not make models or outfits for Silvervale anymore. Nano would have more time to work on my projects, and Silver wouldn't be able to get another model from Nano, and I wouldn't be compared to her if she chose to get a new one from someone else. Her artwork commissions and projects with her current model clients wouldn't be touched. This is what I said about Silvervale in my apology in regards to this exclusivity deal. So at the point I was working with Nano consistently, we brought up not making any more models for her. If a VTuber model is how everyone recognizes you, then it'd be harder to compare us directly if we no longer looked alike or have that shared similarity. It was a wrong and selfish decision, but it made me feel better, and that's why it was a constant topic with Nano. Red pushed for this harder than I ever did because he knew how it affected me for years, but no matter what the outcome was, I wasn't going to walk away from working with Nano. I don't know why I said it was a constant topic with Nano, or that Red pushed harder for this, other than being overly apologetic. Red only had any meaningful conversation about Silver with Nano in May and July of 2023, and the two situations that involved her in November of 2023 and January of 2025. There was only one specific creator we were responsible for naming and pressuring Nano into reconsidering projects with, not an entire list. I was overly apologetic here, and saying we were pressuring her was false. Red and I agreed to ask Nano about Silver when talking about exclusivity, which he did. The only projects Nano would have reconsidered would have been future ones. Hers was the only name Red and I discussed. As for the exclusivity with artist number 1, Red and I had only agreed that we wanted to include it for their work, and didn't talk about naming anyone to them. January 15th, 2025. This was when Nano and Red made their exclusivity deal. I didn't know Red was planning to talk to her about it that day, or even knew he had until after they had already come to an agreement, without my involvement. This is everything that was said about Silver, and the full conversation is in Nano's section. Red, this was the second of 4 total times with 3 different artists I had ever specifically asked anyone to not work with someone else, which are all presented in this document. In this instance, it was in negotiations for an exclusivity deal. We didn't want Silver to be able to get a new model from Nano, but I wasn't looking to have her cancel anything. I knew Nano didn't have anything lined up with Silver. Red, my comment about Silvervale and Gamer Supps was based on our personal opinion about things we saw. Silver using her 3D model predominantly at the time was one way we justified asking Nano this. I didn't say anything about Cinder's insecurities about comparisons between them, but Cinder talked to Nano about it when Nano went to her about canceling our agreement. Red, Nano and I went back and forth and negotiated a deal, and we both agreed to it. It was a deal made on each other's word, and there was no contract involved. She had equal say in what she'd want or need out of our deal before agreeing to it. She was fully aware of what she was agreeing to, and was completely capable of turning me down if she had chosen to, and I would have accepted that like always. After this happened, I was told Nano agreed she wouldn't work with Silvervale at all anymore. We'd continue working with Nano on lots of projects like we've always done, and we'd fully pay for Nano's new model's rigging, and she'd be sent a free demon figure. Red never told me that Bao and Cotton were ever talked about or included in their agreement, or that Bao had another model that was cancelled. Their deal didn't include the part about Nano not taking any new model clients we had talked about before, but I was okay with leaving it as I was told it was. Artist number 1. As was shown in Nano's section of the document, Red and Artist number 1 also spoke about Silvervale in their own exclusivity talks on the same day. Red, because Silver didn't like Cinder, I considered her competition. Artist number 1 didn't know either of our thoughts on Silvervale, unlike what I told Nano. This was the third of 4 total times with 3 different artists I had ever specifically asked anyone to not work with someone else, which are all presented in this document. January 16, 2025. The next day, Artist number 1 sent Red a document that laid out everything in their agreement. Red. Artist number 1 sent a written agreement to go over. As far as I remember, there was a carve-out for both Silver and Bao. I didn't push for this to be changed. Regardless of what I said the night before, they were their clients already and left things open to work with them. I had them posted in our project server to discuss it there and where Cinder could see it herself. This agreement with artist number 1 never actually happened due to other reasons that delayed us finalizing things. Artist number 2, February 7, 2025 to February 12, 2025. These are messages with who will call artist number 2 in my project server, where I am also present. Red offered to pay artist number 2 to narrow down their clientele so they'd have more time for our projects. He was not suggesting they cancel anything on anyone, but in the future they be paid extra to accept less commissions and instead have time to accept more of our commissions. They sounded open to this idea. Nano cancels the deal, February 10th, 2025 to February 20th, 2025. Nano canceled the exclusivity deal she made with Red about a month after it was made so she could work with Silver. Silvervale didn't lose out on any projects with Nano because of her agreement with Red. Red, Nano couldn't keep her word on the deal she agreed to because Silvervale asked her for a commission. Silver lost no work with Nano, just like in November of 2023. Silver was the tipping point for her, so I don't know why she agreed to our deal to begin with. Nano still had no problem sharing with me exactly what she was doing for Silver over a week later. February 11, 2025. Nano messaged me the next day about her walking back in the deal she made with Red. He had already talked with me about her canceling the agreement specifically to work with Silver on something. She didn't mention Bao or Cotton at all to me, and Silver didn't lose out on any opportunity with Nano due to this deal. Nano got tired of hearing about Silvervale and didn't want to be involved in any issues regarding her, but didn't say anything about keeping her out of drama to Red. She faced no backlash from Red or I from going back on her word, even though I was upset because this was my last resort to try ending the comparisons between Silver and I. I was content with Nano working on what she wanted to, and didn't hold it against her like always. But what about this for my apology? When Nano had messaged me about this agreement almost a month later, I was under the assumption this was only about Silvervale. I was upset, and my initial messages to her were very guilt-trippy, but I wasn't going to force Nano to do anything she wasn't okay with, and tried reassuring her that I was okay with her decision. March 13th, 2024. Mod number 1 messaged Red and told him someone in her Twitch chat was banned for asking about collabing with me. Later that day, Mod number 1 told Red that another of Silver's mods was rude to them just for pulling one of my V cards. Hearing about Silver's dislike for Cinder is why I'm not fond of her that much either. February 20th, 2025. March 24th, 2025. Red messaged artist number 2 in their DMs separately from our chat in my project server to, eventually, ask them not to work with Silvervale. I was not aware of him doing this, or of his messages with artist number 2 until putting this document together. Red. Nano canceled our deal 10 days before this because of Silvervale. Out of my own dislike for her and the value I place on this artist, I asked them if they were willing not to work with her. I didn't have a reason for not telling Sinder about this, I just didn't. This was the fourth of 4 total times with three different artists I had ever specifically asked anyone to not work with someone else, which are all presented in this document. AFK and Pixel Drops. April 4th, 2025 and April 11th, 2025. I launched my AFK flavor in merch, and the very next week Silver drops her Pixel merch drop, making this the 4th time our Gamer Supps drops have been released back to back. The first time was to try and release my cup ahead of hers, and they happened to be back to back. The second time with our flavors could have been a coincidence, and the third was bad timing. For it to happen again, randomly in April, separate from any other events, was weird. April 4th, 2025, Sinder's X post about her AFK flavor. April 11th, 2025, Silvervale's X post regarding her Pixel merch. Talking to artist number 1 about Silvervale. April 11th, 2025, Red messaged artist number 1 asking if they were the one who took in real life pictures of Silver's Pixel merch, which they were. Once again, Red didn't tell me about this conversation he had with someone about Silvervale. On this same day and the day after, on April 12th, 2025, was when Red talked to Nano about Shy Lily, another conversation he didn't tell me about. For reference, here's one of the pictures Red was talking about that Silver showed on her stream on April 11th, 2025, but only posted on April 14th, 2025. The message artist number 1 references above was their own message to Red from February 21st, 2025. The reason why this is relevant is because if artist number 1 had the sampled merch items in their hands on this date to take pictures, then the merch drop would have already been completed and ready to be launched at almost any time Silver wanted, almost 2 months beforehand. February 21st, 2025. Some DMs. Their conversation continued with artist number 1 pointing out how mine and Silver's merch always drop back to back, leading to Red telling him about the problems between her and I. April 13th, 2025 to April 14th, 2025, artist number 1 messaged me in our DMs to ask if Red had told me about his conversation with them about Silver 3 days earlier, which he didn't. Red never told me about this himself, the same way he never told me about his conversation with Nano about Shy Lily days earlier. His messages with mod number 1 and with artist number 2 about Silvervale or that Bao and Con were part of his exclusivity deal with Nano. Breaking down Silvervale's document. In the events regarding Nano, Silvervale, like my friends, only knew what information Nano shared. I won't be adding or addressing most of the DM screenshots shown in Silver's document since they were all present within Nano's document and the full conversations were already shown. After going through the things Silver wrote, I'll address the many things she claimed on her stream. Silvervale's document for reference, which was posted on April 26, 2025 at 6:18 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Okay, so I want to note, as others have, that though a majority of the messages are from redacted Sinder's manager, I find it impossible that he acted solely on his own intentions without Sinder's knowledge or consent, given the extent to which he has represented her publicly and professionally. Silver, who wanted no personal or professional relationship with me at all, wouldn't have had any knowledge about how Red and I conducted ourselves together. She just agreed with the narrative that my other accusers decided and added to the choir of voices pushing all the blame onto me. I will not read that. Nano was not manipulated, abused, or treated as a tool by Red or I in the almost 4 years working together. One of the first screenshots Silver shows is this one, the message where Nano called the deal with Red fair, which included not working with Silvervale again. It is completely removed from Silver's version of the screenshot, which this is something Silver did herself. Here is the same screenshot in Nano's document where the bottom is also cut off to hide what Nano said. And this is how it appears in Bao's document. Nano's message isn't cropped out because Bao had no reason to remove it. No one was sabotaged because of Red or I, and Nano wasn't manipulated, but Silver pushed readers to empathize with these false claims and the incomplete evidence on display. I drew fan art of us, I asked her to hang out offline to get her to know each other, and I went to see her at her public events. When finally given the chance to ask her, she refused any kind of business relationship. I was okay with it. I accepted it. That's what Red prioritized me pursuing. I just wanted to try to be her friend, and if not friends, then at least on good terms. She absolutely correct in saying that she has the right to not vibe with someone. She was never obligated to be my friend, but instead of telling me that directly, she was completely two-faced to me. I did nothing wrong to her, and yet she still held some hatred against me for existing alongside her. I could have messaged Silver on Twitter again. I could have befriended her on Discord out of the blue. To me, both of those would have been weird considering our history, so after being at Mythic's booth together, Red and I tried going through Mythic. You can literally see the total shift in Silvervale's two messages to Mythic after my name is brought up. She could have let Mythic tell me she wasn't interested and went on about her day. She made the decision to message me on Twitter, which was never shown in her document. In her document, Silver said she told Mythic she would rather not collab but accepted my friend request in Discord after turning me down, but never showed where she turned me down in our Twitter DMs. October 23rd, 2023, some DMs. Silver didn't message me to tell me off or that she wanted nothing to do with me like one of her mods implied she claimed to them. She told me she was always down if I want to message her anything. I have been in Discord servers with Silvervale for years and never once sent her a friend request because I thought it'd be really weird to. It was only after Silvervale sent me this message explicitly saying that messaging on Discord would work better than I did, that I did. Silver was the first one to message me, both on Twitter and on Discord. She conveniently cropped out my very next message after she turned me down, where I completely understood her decision, or any of my following messages that had nothing to do with monetized collabs. October 24th, 2023 to October 29th, 2023. Some screenshots. She didn't say anything to me here or in her Twitter message about the picture I posted of us just days earlier either. She could have asked me to take it down if she had a problem with it, the same way she did about my fan art in the past, and I would have. These two messages are presented out of order in Silver's document. In Nano's document, they were presented in the correct order, and you can clearly see the timestamps on these two messages. I don't know why Silver deliberately chose to lay them out this way, other than to try making Red's messages sound worse. I've already explained this in Nano's section, but Silver's model wasn't cancelled due to Red or I pressuring her to do it. Nano cancelled it herself. November 17th, 2023, proof of that. DMs. The very next day, in our own public Discord server, Nano said she was healthier and less stressed after cancelling Silver's model. November 18th, 2023. When Nano went to Red to clear up the confusion about their previous conversation, Red reassured her about working with Silvervale and that he understood her position. November 25th, 2023. Nano told Red she was going to take back Silver's model, but never did. November 25th, 2023. Screenshot. November 27th, 2023, screenshot. If Nano lied and told Silver that her model was cancelled because of me, then I can't blame Silver for thinking that was the case. Nano chose to cancel Silvervale's model in November 2023. It was not mine or Red's fault. She never took it back like she told Red she was going to do because she was healthier and less stressed. Despite this, I don't expect Silvervale to care about what really happened to her model since Nano's currently making her a brand new one. September 17th, 2025. This is the only other message between us and Silver showed in her document. She framed this DM from me as if I was secretly taunting her while working to get her model cancelled. That story is completely untrue, and this message was 2 days before Red even had the conversation with Nano where she cancelled Silver's model. My message was genuine, and Silver ghosted it anyway after inviting me to message her. I didn't do anything to warrant Silver's hate of me other than just existing as Sinder. Nano cancelled Silvervale's model in 2023 herself. Nano also cancelled her deal she made with Red because Silver asked her for art, meaning Silver lost out on nothing due to their agreement. Their agreement was for Nano not to work with Silver anymore, not sabotage her and get something she had in the works cancelled. Neither of us sought to have Silver's projects cancelled. Red asked one other artist not to work with her on his own, and as far as he knew, nothing was cancelled because of it. The rumors expressed about Silvervale were true to our own experiences with her. There was no reason for Red or I to lie about that, the same way there wasn't a reason for Red to lie to Nano about my experience with Chilily. I hope this document and the evidence presented will convince you that Silvervale is the person that I've shown her to be. Silvervale's claims on her streams. When Silvervale finally had the opportunity to talk all about me on her stream, she showed her true colors to everyone. However, no one watching would have known what those colors really were. Almost everything Silvervale said about me on her stream was greatly exaggerated or a lie. April 29th, 2025. The YouTube video, Silvervale Plays Oblivion Remastered Episode 4 and talks about Sinder, on the YouTube channel Silvervale's Twitch archive. 12 minutes 37 seconds to 12 minutes 45 seconds. I didn't want to talk about this, but I feel like I have to. Silver didn't want to talk about this, and then goes on to egregiously lie about me. 17 minutes 43 seconds to 17 minutes 53 seconds. to find out that I'd been systematically being torn down for years. If she was, it wasn't by me or Red. 18 minutes 22 seconds to 18 minutes 29 seconds. So yeah, I just found out about all of this like a day or so before I put out my doc. Silvervale posted her document towards the end of the day on April 26th. If Silver only found out about this a day or so beforehand, it supports my timeline in the breakdown section of when she, Cotton, and Spite were first contacted. 19 minutes 54 seconds to 20 minutes 43 seconds. I was asked if I wanted my name censored, and I wanted it censored so that people wouldn't know that it was me, but when I went back and looked at the doc or the pictures about everything that happened, I went back to my messages with her, and I saw that one where she was so excited that we shared art, and we shared a model, and I didn't think anything of it at all, and then I saw the fucking timestamp on it, and I just couldn't take it, man. It was so fucked up. It was so vile and cruel and malicious for no reason. Silver's referring to my message to her 2 days before Nano canceled her model in November of 2023. I've already debunked this claim. My message to her was genuine. 20 minutes 59 seconds to 21 minutes 50 seconds. I didn't know her. I wasn't her friend. I was just someone that she beat down progressively over years for no reason, and I feel like that says a lot about a person. And I just really needed to get it out there because it was just sitting inside of me. Like, so much was just sitting inside of me that I was realizing was just horrible, that I've gone through, and I couldn't say anything because I thought she was just a really business savvy person, you know? I didn't know what was going on. And it's just been gnawing at me and seeing that I felt like I had to get my side out there. As you've seen, Silvervale was not beat down progressively over years for no reason by me or Red, but Silvervale is implying that she's had a problem with me for a long time. 22 minutes 21 seconds to 22 minutes 32 seconds. I didn't talk to her. I never talked about her, like she was there for years talking about me. She did talk to me more than she showed, and she did talk about me, evidenced by what her mod said about me. 22 minutes 32 seconds to 23 minutes 32 seconds. Like, I got weird vibes ever since, like, I guess where it all started, and a lot of you probably don't even remember this, but it stuck with me. She had this fan art of me and her, and she made a ship tag Cindervale. She's the one that came up with that art tag. She talked about how close our designs were, and that she wanted to be wolf girls together, and it was so strange because I didn't know this person, like, she just came out of nowhere, and the art was sweet, but I didn't want to retweet that, like, I don't want to push a ship tag. Here is the image of my original post again. I explained above that I didn't mean for my tag to be considered as a ship tag, but Silver was valid for thinking this and I agreed with her, which is why I immediately deleted the post once I realized. 23 minutes 32 seconds to 23 minutes 47 seconds. And what was really weird is, so my mom retweets tons of art of me. She's amazing and I love her so much, and she didn't retweet that one. Silvervale is lying. Her mom did retweet my artwork, liked, and commented on it before she unretweeted it later. Silver acknowledged that she did too. 23 minutes 47 seconds to 25 minutes 23 seconds. So Sinder's manager messaged Yoshi. I don't know why they messaged Yoshi, maybe because they didn't want to message my mom, but they messaged Yoshi asking why my mom didn't retweet the art, which is such a weird thing to do. Like, what? Why is that just expected? And like, if that's being the first thing you do, like, that really shows that your whole goal is just social media attraction. But that's so fucked up, and so shameless and strange and weird, and just really showed their hand like this is all we care about. So that was the first thing in a whole slew of things where it really just felt like this person does not care about me and is not genuine, and I just don't want to deal with it. It was so weird. I think the tweet got deleted and reworded and the ship tag got taken out, but that stuck with me for forever because it was just so fucking weird. This would be an extremely weird thing to do, if that it's what happened. But Silvervale is lying to make me sound crazy. Red messaged Yoshi because she was our only friend in this space at the time, and she was mutual friends with Silver. He didn't ask why her mom didn't retweet my art, but why she unretweeted it, because there must have been some kind of problem with it. I never expected her mom to interact with my fan art, or for Silver to either. That would be weird and insane. Silver said that me choosing to spend hours of my own time making fan art of us together was so shameless, strange, and weird because she chose to interpret my actions in the worst way possible. 25 minutes, 33 seconds, 26 minutes, 15 seconds. And then there's the Twitchcon picture, and I don't want people to get the wrong idea about it. Like, you got to Twitchcon to get a picture with your streamer if it's like a meet and greet. That's totally normal most of the time. Like, you don't have to ask. It's sweet when you do, but it's kind of expected. You're in like a public space, you're going to get a picture taken, especially if you're just like on a screen. But the fact that it was like a candid picture from far away at the perfect angle to make it look good and then insinuate that we were closer, like wolf girls together, like, I don't know you. I want you to leave me alone. Like, leave me alone. The picture was taken in the moment and wasn't pre-planned. Silvervale never told me to leave her alone. She did the opposite just days later. If Silver had a problem with the picture I posted, you'd think she would have said something about it in this message, but she didn't. She didn't say anything about it in our Discord messages either. If she did, I would have taken it down just like I did my fan art years earlier. 26 minutes, 15 seconds, 27 minutes, 1 second. And that's the reason I haven't done any meet and greet since then, because I've been so scared. I know it's really, really fucked up and stupid. I didn't want to deal with it again because you're trapped and you can't run away. Like, I didn't want her to talk to me again. I was so scared. I wanted to go to TwitchCon in person and give people hugs and sign merch and stuff, and then it was like, what if she's there, and how do I get out of that? Like, and I didn't want to deal with it, so I didn't do it. If Silver was truly scared of me coming to talk to her and showering her with compliments like I did, she could have told Mythic not to let me in our meet and greet line again if she didn't want me there at future events. She's blaming me for not going to TwitchCon because of the possibility I'd interact with her. Anyone who's met me in person knows who I am and how I act. I don't know what she was afraid of, especially when all I did was praise and encourage her at her last meet and greet. Again, she told her chat she didn't want me to talk to her again, but this is what she messaged me directly herself. 27 minutes 1 second to 27 minutes 47 seconds. I don't know, it makes me feel pathetic. I don't like feeling pathetic, like to be scared of someone like this, but I was. I feel really stupid and I could never say anything because like if you talk about how someone gives you weird vibes, then you just come off like petty or something. But like she made me so fucking uncomfortable constantly, and I was very clear, I was very direct, like I just don't want to be your friend. I don't want to talk to you. I said it as nicely as I could. Where? Where was Silver very direct and say anything like that to me? 27 minutes 47 seconds to 28 minutes 20 seconds. Like, she reached out to my manager to try and get a collab, which was so uncomfortable, and it made me so stressed and anxious, and it was like going to your parent or your teacher to pressure you even more. Like, that's an extra step above. Like, who does that? Who could have messaged me? Like, the fact that you go to my manager that you know I'm going to have a hard time saying no to was just so uncomfortable. The one and only time I messaged Silver myself to do something together about a year earlier, she never responded. It wasn't about an on-stream collab, just to hang out offline. I wasn't friends with her on Discord, so I couldn't message her there. Red was the one with the idea and who brought up asking Silvervale to do something together with Mythic, and I agreed. It was just to ask if she was interested, if she's down. No, I didn't know Silver would have a hard time saying no to her talent manager, once again interpreting my actions in the worst way possible because I never had a problem saying no to mine. Your talent manager is always on the side of whatever you want to do or not do. The screenshot she shared of this conversation doesn't show her having any problem saying no to them. She very sternly turned them down at the mention of my name. 28 minutes, 20 seconds, 28 minutes, 50 seconds. And I was very clear. I said I'm flattered by the persistence because god fucking damn if she was persistent, but I just didn't want it. Like, you should be allowed to just not want to talk to someone. Like, why did it have to be me when I very clearly was not interested? Silver is right. She was allowed to just not talk to me. I would have been okay with that if that's what she told me. That's not what she told me. She was not very clear. After Silver told me she was always down to message, and I had asked about the possibility of everything else other than a collab, I just tried to talk to her. I sent her 5 messages after our first conversation over the next 6 months, all of which she ghosted. Nothing I said in any of those messages was about a collab, and all of them were just saying nice things to her. Persistent about a collab? No. Aru asked Silver about the collab she had the idea for in October 2022 that never went anywhere. I asked to hang out offline, not collab. At the end of November 2022, which Silver never responded to. Mythic asked Silver about a collab, her messaging me, and me asking about anything other than a collab on Discord were all in the span of a few days in October 2023. That's every instance there was any attempt for me to do anything with Silvervale. Persistent in trying to talk to her like she said she was always down to do? Kinda, yeah. When she never replied to my message on Twitter from a year earlier, and from what she said in her message to me, I gave her the benefit of the doubt that she was missing my Discord messages and would eventually see and respond to one. 28 minutes 50 seconds to 29 minutes 40 seconds. Like, to go to the extent that she did just to harass me in weird ways, it was really bad, and like, they were all just little things, you know? Like, little things that was like, I don't really like this. I wish this would stop, but like, I couldn't say anything. I couldn't do anything. Like, I just accepted this as just how it is, you know? And I I tried to get away from it as much as I could. I distanced myself. I tried to just not address it and just do my own thing. She just wouldn't leave me alone. After our first conversation on Discord, I messaged her 5 times with positive messages over 6 months. I occasionally would say hi to her Twitch chat, which until I was restricted. I was I very rarely replied to her on Twitter. I don't know what constitutes me harassing her after she told me she was always down to message. Silvervale never communicated to me about anything. She falsely claimed to her chat that she was very direct with me about how she felt while portraying me as this malicious person. 29 minutes 40 seconds to 30 minutes 4 seconds. And I don't understand why she was so obsessed. Like, I'm sure there were other people that didn't talk to her. Why did it matter so much that I didn't? It doesn't make any sense. I was not obsessed with Silvervale. Red wanted to pursue working together because he knew anything we did together would be a success. But to me, if Silvervale and I were on good terms publicly, whether through something like a collab or as small as interacting on Twitter, the harassment I was getting, and she was. What? But to me, if Silvervale and I were on good terms publicly, whether through something like a collab or as small as interacting on Twitter, the harassment I was getting, and she was supposedly getting too, could have ended. I don't know what doesn't make any sense to her. 31 minutes, 36 seconds to 33 minutes. I just prefer that if I'm going to be playing with games with someone on stream, it's someone that I know well and I know that they love me for who I am and not what they can get out of me. And I was super clear. I was super clear that I wasn't interested in a collab, and I tried to be as nice as I possibly could. Like, I don't know how else I could have worded that. Like, that's a transactional relationship. If you come at me asking for a collab and I say no, and then you say, well, okay, how about merch? How about a song? How about this? How about that? Like, I don't want the money. I don't want the stress. Like, if I do one thing, then people expect more. You know, it's a gateway into having this person attached to my life that I don't know and I'm not comfortable with. So if I do one thing, I have to do all the other things, and I just didn't want to deal with that. Her intentions were super clear, and all she kept asking was for a fucking merchant fucking collabs. Oh, we look the same. Okay, we're the same made up magical animal. Why does that fucking matter? Like, I didn't want to be around her, and I wish she would just have left me alone. As I explained, I asked Silvervale about every possibility other than a collab to see if she was interested in anything else Red had talked about us doing together to get it all out of the way. I asked her once. She said no. I accepted that, and I moved on, just trying to be friendly with her. I didn't expect Silvervale to agree to do anything with me. I certainly didn't expect Silvervale to reach out to me herself and tell me she was always down to message either. 33 minutes 7 seconds to 34 minutes 37 seconds. It's just so fucked up how she did it. I am surprised. I had no idea this was going on. I had no idea. I mean, none of us did, so I guess she hit it really well, and like, I don't want people thinking like there's no one nice in the world. Like, there is, but it was amazing how two-faced she was and how well she hit everything, and it's fucking scary. Like, it's always what I was afraid of from other streamers, and like, you hear horror stories about like, oh, this person's so different off stream, but like, holy fuck, dude, like, wow, it's maniacal. Like, it's so fucked up. The more I found, the more I couldn't believe it. Like it's a bad movie. It's just so irrationally evil in every single way. Just because I didn't want to do a collab with you, you wanted to tear my life apart. It's amazing how two-faced Silvervale was and how well she hit everything. I accepted her decision when she told me she didn't want a collab after the one time I asked. She hid that from the public. 35 minutes 9 seconds to 35 minutes 21 seconds. I guess the fact that I just wasn't interested set her off so much and just like fucking broke her brain to the point she just wanted to take me out because I said no thank you. Silvervale told me she wasn't interested in the collab, and I was okay with it. With that. She never showed that in her document and didn't show that to her chat. At no point was I trying to take her out. I wanted to ask Nano not to work with her on new models anymore so Silver could get a model from someone else, and the biggest thing we were compared over wouldn't be a problem anymore. I don't see how her not being able to work with Nanolist on a model would have taken her out. Silver blamed me for all of the misfortunes in her career when I did nothing to her, and the one time I agreed to try doing something, it didn't affect her. While I was focusing on my own content, she looked at me with scorn for years, but she broke me? 35 minutes, 27 seconds to 38 minutes, 8 seconds. And I kept hearing the story that I hated her. I never hated her. I just didn't want her around me. Like, I respected that she was so business oriented. Like, it sucks, but I respected that, you know? Like, she was a go-getter. She was very, very business oriented, and that was really admirable and impressive, you know? Like, to grow so much so fast. and she seemed really driven, but I just wasn't interested in associating with her. Like, I just didn't want to be friends with someone I could tell was going to use me as a rung on a ladder. Like, I just didn't have the emotional bandwidth to deal with that. And I got so many weird vibes from her. And like, I never in a million years could have imagined it was this bad. Like, I just thought that's a little weird. She doesn't really care much about people, but there's no way she's like finding out that she was this cruel and malicious, like not only to me, but like her best friends that she made memories with and spent years with and did things together. Like, I can't imagine sitting next to someone and like making memories, going on trips, and like, and then you think about how badly you want to take them down while doing that is insane. It's just fucking nuts, dude. It's so evil. Like the things I saw and the things that keep coming out, like they're vile. How she treated people like that, thought she was their best friend, is fucking vile. And it's surprising that it took this long. I guess if she was like that, like I don't know how you hide something like that, like your true self. It's obvious Silvervale had a problem with me for years. She did not respect me enough to even respond to my messages, even to tell me off directly like she lied about doing. Everything she said here is untrue, and she's just maliciously parroting the claim Shy Lily and my friends made. 39 minutes 12 seconds to 41 minutes 30 seconds. And like she kept making this claim that our actions towards me were like fueled by how often she saw us compared, a comparison that she originally even made with that fan art. So I don't know why she was surprised if you were the one that pushed that in the first place. Like, you were just like a color swap of me and you said that. You literally just said, look, we're opposites. We're so cute. Like, why are you surprised? And I heard these same comparisons all the time, too. All the fucking time. Constantly I saw them in my chat, I saw them in Discord, I saw them in Discord, I saw them on Twitter, I saw them constantly all the time. But I would never do this. Like, if just being compared to me is the reason that you go around telling everyone that I hate you and you slander me all because we were compared, like, it's fucked up. Like, when I saw those things, sure, I get fucking sad. Like, how can you not get sad when people are calling this other person the better version of you and always asking why don't you color with so and so? You're so much alike. Oh, you remind me of, you remind me so much of blah blah blah. Like, I get it. Like, I get said, but I just think about how I could do better and put my little fucking horse blinders on and like be in my little bubble and do my own shit. I would never lash out and try to ruin someone's career. Like, people get compared all the time, but no one fucking does this. This is insane. You wore that revealing dress, so you deserve what happened. That's Silvervale's argument about my fan art and how it related to years of harassment I got for being her dollar store version. I drew fan art of us because she inadvertently inspired Cinder's creation not to be sent hate and called names for years. Seeing comments comparing us didn't have anything to do with me knowing Silvervale hated me. Her own actions told me that. Nothing I ever told to anyone about Silvervale was slander or untrue to the way she treated me. Silvervale said herself that she got upset because of the comparisons made between us, but instead of just being friendly to one another, she decided to put on her blinders and ignore it because she couldn't bring herself to show me the kindness I showed her at every turn. Silvervale wouldn't have been able to work with Nano if Nano didn't cancel her deal as soon as Silvervale asked her for something. She would have lost out on one artist who initially agreed to cut her off. This is hardly anything to ruin her career. 41 minutes 30 seconds to 41 minutes 57 seconds. And it's baffling that it went on for fucking years, like actual years in the background, just silently tormenting me and like ruining so many projects. Like, I didn't even know how. I just thought I was unlucky, you know? Like, it just kept happening. I was like, oh, okay, that sucks, but you know, I'll find another artist. I'll think of something else. Nothing went on for years. I didn't ruin Silvervale's projects, and she blamed me for everything that went wrong for her. 41 minutes 57 seconds to 43 minutes 37 seconds. It was my fucking birthday, dude. Like, I was cringe. I didn't know, but like, birthdays are important, and it was really special. And Nana would come to me originally with that model, like that. It makes it so fucked up because like I originally didn't even ask for a model. She came to me and she was like, I learned all this stuff and I love your model so much. I really want to give you another one with all the new things I can do and the new Life 2D shit. And I was like, okay, sure. Like, it's almost my birthday. It would be amazing to have you do my birthday model. And we sketched it, and it was beautiful. It was so beautiful, and then it just got taken away. But finding out that you literally took it away from me because it's something I would be happy about and something that meant something to me, that's so fucked up. Like, it's just so evil. Like, it's so comically evil. It's insane. And this went on for years, like years. I had no fucking idea that any of this was happening. In May of 2023, Nano told Red that she was the one to ask Silvervale about making a new model for her. Nano cancelled Silvervale's model herself in November 2023 and then chose not to take it back when she had the chance to. Silvervale's birthday is August 12th. How was this supposed to be her birthday model if her birthday had already passed months ago by the time her model was cancelled and when it was only scheduled to be started in January 2024? Silvervale saying I had her model cancelled for her birthday does sound extremely evil, which is why she said it. I had nothing to do with her model being cancelled. 44 minutes 14 seconds to 45 minutes 18 seconds. And like I've been contacted by other artists after my doc came out, and I guess I'm really glad that I put that part in there about worrying that she had been saying things about me because that was true apparently. They told me that she had told them that I hated her and I was this malicious person, that I was so mean and I just hated her so much. Like, usually conveniently right after doing a project or art piece or something with me, I got traction and she didn't like it. And they told me that hearing that made them less inclined to work with me again because they think I'm this evil, terrible person. Because why would she say that if it wasn't true? Like, why would you lie about someone? And this happened so much. Like, it wasn't just Nano, it was so many other people. Silver claimed that she was contacted by so many other artists telling her I was slandering her, conveniently right after doing a project or art piece with her because I allegedly didn't like the traction it got. Why would she say this if it wasn't true? There were 3 artists total Red or I have ever talked to about how Silvervale treated me. Nanoless, artist number 1, and artist number 2. Silver isn't talking about Nano, and she says as much. Nano was the only artist I talked to about Silvervale. She could possibly be talking about artist number 1, but Red was the one who talked to them about Silvervale. I can rule out artist number 2 being someone she's referring to here by something she said at the end of her stream, which will be addressed, meaning that there weren't so many other artists reaching out to Silvervale. Either I'm choosing to leave out conversations I allegedly had with other artists about Silvervale in this document for some reason, or a bunch of artists, separately from each other, all decided to message Silver and lie to her and tell her the same story all at the same time. Or Silvervale is lying to her audience again to make me sound worse. If Silvervale's telling the truth, then she should have no problem with showing the messages from these artists. 45 minutes 51 seconds to 46 minutes 50 seconds. All I ever did was just want to play video games and stream and happen to be the same fucking animal. That's it. Like, that's the reason you want to destroy my whole career and ruin friendships and tear me down because people compare you to me? It's fucked. It's so fucked. I don't know. It doesn't feel real. Like, it feels like I'm in this alternate reality fucking nightmare. Like, it's insane to find out all this and know that I was, like, being silently destroyed from someone. It feels like a bad comic book villain. Like, who does this? I didn't want to destroy Silvervale or her career, and I didn't try to. I wanted to ask Nano not to make models for her anymore because of the comparisons between us and harassment. I got over it, and because of the way Silvervale acted towards me for years for no reason. 46 minutes 52 seconds to 47 minutes 24 seconds. And her apology, oh my fucking god, her apology, dude. Like, no words can express how fucking disgusting that was. It was zero accountability. Like, it's so fucked up. Like, all of it is just so fucked up. And it's even like, even like I feel bad saying mean things about her, like even if they're true. Silvervale repeated Childily's claim that I took zero accountability in my apology. Yet I apologized the most to Silvervale. I called myself unapologetically evil towards her and didn't go into detail of our interactions laid out in this section of this document. She said she felt bad saying mean things about me, even if they're true, but almost everything she's claimed about me has been a lie. 48 minutes 37 seconds to 49 minutes 2 seconds. It's nice to know the reason why I kept being kicked down constantly. I just thought I was really unlucky. Yeah, like relieved. I'm relieved to know what was happening. Like, I don't think I'm not a problematic person. Silvervale was not kicked down constantly by me or Red. Silvervale claims she isn't a problematic person. 48 minutes 37 seconds to 50 minutes 16 seconds. Like, she could have just said, okay, like, if you don't want to do things with me, that's fine. I'll just go find other people to talk to or, like, ask someone else. Like, all I did was say no thank you in the nicest way I could possibly think of, and I was very direct. Like, I'm a very direct person. Like, I'm a very communicative person. If I have a problem, I will tell you. If something makes me uncomfortable, I will tell you. And I straight up told her, like, no thank you, I'm not interested, and that just pissed her off. I could have just said, okay, if you don't want to do things with me, that's fine. Silvervale is a very direct person. She's a very communicative person. If she has a problem, she will tell you. If something makes her uncomfortable, she will tell you. 50 minutes, 18 seconds to 51 minutes, 4 seconds. Oh, think of all the money we could make. Okay, that's nice. I don't fucking care. Like, I would much rather be thousands of dollars cheaper than have this weighing on my mental for the rest of my life. Did she actually say that? Yeah. Her and her her boyfriend slash manager, just kept talking about how much money they could make if they did things with me. Like, it's so fucked. That's all I was to them. I was just a fucking walking money bag that they wanted. Like, it's insane. Red said this to Nano in May of 2023 once, expressing that working together would be mutually beneficial for us both. His message before this literally says it wasn't about the money, it was about Silver getting along with me. 51 minutes 5 seconds to 52 minutes 8 seconds, and I feel bad. Like, I feel bad speaking ill of like a GamerSupps partner. Like, I even had to tell GamerSupps I'm so sorry. Like, I'm sorry that I put out a dog. I'm sorry that I spoke ill of someone that's such a big part of their company. Like, I fucking love GamerSupps and I feel bad speaking ill of someone, but like, this is so fucked up, dude. Like, it's not okay. It's not okay. It's not okay to treat people like this. Like, there's business and there's fucking, I don't even know what to call it. Like, this is so fucked. Like, there's business partnerships and there's business relationships as a streamer, and I get that, and that's totally fucking fine. But this is insane. This is actually insane. It's so malicious and it's so horrible. I don't know why Silvervale dragged GamerSupps into this conversation other than to look considerate to them and her audience. 52 minutes 8 seconds to 52 minutes 51 seconds. Like, I've always been a little uncomfortable, but I had no idea. And I could never say anything, and like, I always felt so bad. And you're like, oh, I love her. Oh, she's so much like you. You should collab. And like, I can't say, I could never come out and say no. Sorry, she just wants to use me. Like, then that would explode and I would seem like the bad person because I didn't want to do it. Like, and I just had to deal with that for so long. It's just so fucked up, dude. I didn't want to use Silvervale. I wanted to be on good terms with Silvervale, if not eventually friends, something she didn't ever want. That wouldn't have been a problem if she had just told me that directly instead of being two-faced to me and then playing the victim. 52 minutes, 51 seconds to 53 minutes, 38 seconds. Like, I just kept thinking about all the things that I had plans for, and like, I would talk about having plans for, and then they would fall through, and like, it's kind of a little thing. But even like, I was so excited for the Oblivion launch, and I was like, I want to get another model from Linebreaker, just like my Fallout one, that's interactive and swaps weapons, and like, we collect stuff over time, and that'll be so cool. And then Lime has a big commission, he can't do it. And then guess who that commission's for? Like, it's just, this is fucking crazy, dude. Silvervale continues to attribute any of her plans that fell through as my fault. She admits she had a problem with me working with someone she seemingly considered one of her artists. I got an unreleased art piece commissioned from them because I liked their work, and they drew fan art of me in the past. It had nothing to do with Silvervale, or because I somehow telepathically knew she was planning to ask them for a new model in the near future. 53 minutes 50 seconds to 54 minutes 24 seconds. Like, I was nothing to her. Like, I was not a threat. Like, I wasn't someone she interacted with on the daily like her friends. Like, I was no one. Like, why did you have to step on me constantly and just beat me down from the shadows, then fucking message me and revel in it and just laughed to yourself like, oh, fuck this bitch. Like, this is not okay. I did not step on Silvervale constantly or beat her down from the shadows. All of my messages to Silvervale were genuine, but she couldn't see them for anything other than what she wanted to see them as. 56 minutes 21 seconds to 57 minutes 23 seconds. Like, this was their life. Like, the diehard fans that buy merch and say you're their Oshi, like, you are the hugest part of someone's life, and that is a big responsibility to be someone that they can be proud of, that they can love forever. And to just throw that away is so fucked up. To not even think about them, to just think about the dollars they can give you, and not think about how this would affect them and what they would do when they find out all of this, because she had to think they would find it eventually, right? Like, she did think she could do this forever? Was the plan always to have Red as a scapegoat? I don't know. It would make sense, I guess. But, you know, like, she'd have to think it would come out eventually. What a crazy thing for Silvervale to say. She'd have to think this would come out eventually? 57 minutes 23 seconds to 57 minutes 52 seconds. And thank God for Nano. Thank God for Nano coming out. But like, some of the artists that talked to me even said, like, I really wanted to say something, but what would that do if they messaged me and they would like, hey, is it true that you hate Sinder? And I just be like, no, what? Where did you hear that from? And they just be like, okay, and then it wouldn't go anywhere. Where are the messages from some of the artists, plural, who told Silvervale they really wanted to say something to her about me? 57 minutes, 54 seconds, 58 minutes, 52 seconds. Like, the fact that Nano came out, I admire her so much, and I appreciate that so much because so many of us would never have any idea that it would probably have gone on for years, and she probably would have done this to more people and made more friends and abused their trust more. So, like, it's fucked up as it is, and as much as it fucking hurt to see someone say those things about me that I respected and loved, I'm really thankful that she did, because I can't imagine where we'd be in 5 years if that was still happening. Like, would I even have a career? Would I have just been like so demoralized for everything in my life going wrong? Like, would what would her friends do, you know? Like, it's so fucked. Nothing went on for years, and I didn't abuse my friends' trust just to betray them. Silvervale's career wouldn't have ended if Nano decided to abide by her agreement with Red and not work with her. Silver again implies everything in her life going wrong would have somehow been my fault. 59 minutes 1 second to 59 minutes 25 seconds. It hurt to see Nano say some of that. Yeah, but like, I understand. I mentioned it in my doc. Like, I understand what she was going through, like the extent of the emotional torment and manipulation. She believed Sinder was her best friend in the whole world, and that all of these other people were out to get her. And I get that. Like, I understand where her mindset was. Nano lied. Nano wasn't abused, and she wasn't manipulated. Hour 7 minutes to hour 1 minute 16 seconds. Hour 7 seconds to hour 1 minute 16 seconds. I don't think this has ever happened, like, in the history of streamers. Like, there's been being competitive and there's business relationships, but this is insane. Like, this is actual sabotage, actual libel. Like, I was being slandered for 5 years. I can't do math. I'm pretty sure it was like 3 years, or it was a long fucking time. Like, my whole fucking career. I was just being slandered to an insane degree by someone that, like, I, like, admired. Not admired because I knew she was like a clout-hungry snake. Like, she was very business savvy, and that's neat, I guess. I wouldn't even say it was respect, you know what I mean? I had no problems with her. All of the evidence for the things Red and I have said about Silvervale is all shown here. We did not slander her to anyone, and everything said was based on our own personal experiences. Shy Lily called me a snake, and Silver went out of her way to call me a clout-hungry snake. If anyone's worthy of that title, it's Silvervale, lying all throughout her stream and claiming she had no problems with me in the same breath. Hour 1 minute 16 seconds to hour 2 minutes 22 seconds. It just sucked. It sucked getting compared. It sucked thinking that I wasn't good enough, and I would see some of my community leave. I would see my mods join her mod team and wonder why I wasn't good enough. And I don't know if she sought them out because they were my mods, but I guess a lot of stuff starts to make sense. And I hope with all my heart that her community can find new homes. The fact that Silvervale is saying it sucked to be compared is funny, because she was never harassed the way I was. She was never Blue Cinder like I was Red Silvervale. If only there was a way we could have made the comparisons between us stop. Silver goes on to blame me for a community apparently leaving hers and becoming Pyropups, as if they couldn't be both of our fans. Maybe her community leaving could have had something to do with her choosing to change her stream time to mornings instead of nights? Did she do that because of me? How would I have taken them from her specifically? Mind control? Targeted ads? Like, what? Her mods all willingly applied to my mod applications and were chosen due to their experience modding. Maybe they wanted to mod for me because my server was a much more inviting place to be by mod number 1's account shown in this section above. Or maybe because Silver started making them pay her to have the privilege of the job, and apparently abused them when they only tried helping her. Hour 8 minutes 42 seconds to hour 9 minutes 11 seconds. You know, maybe people can stop being so fake. I don't know if they will, but you can hope, I guess. It's not hard to be a good person. It's really not. It's so much more effort to lie to people and manipulate people, and how did that not get stressful, you know? Like, how did you not feel bad at least a little bit? This is the most ironic thing Silvervale could have possibly said. Hour 10 minutes 11 seconds to an hour 10 minutes 55 seconds. Thank you guys, you're so sweet. Thank you for being here and taking the time out of your day to be here for me. I was really anxious to come back. Like, I know I didn't do anything wrong, but like, I feel bad saying these things about someone else because like, I didn't think about her at all. Like, she wasn't a part of my life. Like, it feels weird to talk about her, you know? But I really appreciate you guys being here and supporting me and being so sweet. And thank you for all of your subs. Silver said she didn't do anything wrong while lying about all of these things she supposedly felt bad saying about me. I was someone she claimed she didn't ever think about at all. The person she attributed every misfortune in her career to for years, including her audience and her mods choosing to watch and support me. Hour 11 minutes 16 seconds to an hour 12 minutes 48 seconds. Pedal Pups and Pedal Pals. Did she get Pyro Pups from that too? I don't know. I don't know what I inspired and what I didn't, but there's a lot of things like her art tag. Like, there's so many things that I don't know. I have no idea, but who fucking knows anymore, bro? Well, I don't want to think about it. It's weird. It's weird, dude. Oh, thank you for the sub to Lily. Lily's been so sweet. She's been such a fantastic person. She's been a rock for all of us through all of this. As explained, Pyro Pups and my art tag were not derived from Silvervale's brand. Silver called being Shy Lily the Rock for everyone points to her being the one who reached out to Silver and the one at the head of planning my cancellation. Hour 22 minutes 50 seconds to an hour 23 minutes 30 seconds. It's nice to get it off my chest. It's nice to talk about it because I could never say like, hey, this person makes me uncomfortable. Can we not talk about them? Because then like you read into that and then you know like I just had to sit there and suffer in silence and hope it would go away. And it never went away because I was a boss she couldn't beat. I was a goal she couldn't achieve. Like, I don't know why it mattered so much to have me do something with you when we don't even we don't interact at all. First of all, it is extremely narcissistic of her to claim she was a boss I couldn't beat and a goal I couldn't achieve, but it's especially ironic when she's the one blaming me for everything that's been going wrong in her career. The one time I asked her about a professional collab, through Mythic and directly, I accepted her turning me down. But why did it matter that we did something together? For years we've both been harassed about the other and at the same time begged by fans to do anything with each other. How do we appease both parties? We do something together. Literally anything, even as small as interacting on Twitter. If we're seen on good terms, the fans have no reason to perpetuate this stupid bullshit of comparing us, and the fans that want to see us together are satisfied with their two favorite VTubers interacting. But Silver couldn't look past her own ego to even communicate with me, and would rather sit there and blame everything that went wrong on me. Hour 30 minutes 58 seconds to an hour 31 minutes 25 seconds. Like, I can talk about it. I've talked about it to my mom and some of my friends when they find out about it, but I feel like it's so different walking to you guys about it, you know? And I didn't talk to anyone about her ever. So it's all just coming out of nowhere. Silvervale is lying. Her mods didn't all have a negative opinion of me for no reason. One of them made an analogy of Silver being very direct with me, something they'd only know if Silver told them she was. Another one of them said that they heard about Silver's dislike for me. How would they know that unless Silver talked about me? Hour 32 minutes 56 seconds to an hour 33 minutes 28 seconds. Hour 32 minutes 56 seconds to an hour 33 minutes 28 seconds. I don't know if I said that wrong the first time. Did Nyan know a bit? I won't go into her side, but she had met Sinder at a party and she had told her something very catty and snide and it stuck with her, and it bothered her for a long time. I think she mentioned she got a backhanded comment and it was really fucked up. It was a really fucked up thing to say. I spoke to Nyanners at a party at AX in the summer of 2023, and it couldn't have been for more than 15 minutes. I'd like to know what I said that stuck with her, because I don't remember saying anything remotely similar to what's being described here, and I can't imagine I would have when I was sitting directly across from her. This was the first time I'd ever met her and spoken to her, and I've never had any ill feelings towards Nyanners. We've spoken briefly at other events since, and we were both only kind to each other. Hour 33 minutes 30 seconds to an hour 33 minutes 28 seconds. And they're my best friends, so they know that I would feel sad sometimes if there were a lot of comparisons, but I would just be a little sad. It's a little rough. I wish people would stop talking about it, and I wish she would leave me alone. Because it was really hard and she would not leave me alone. But I never talked about her, after I told her I didn't want a transactional relationship, and that was it. And I just said please go away, leave me alone, and she's not in my life. I don't talk about her, I don't think about her, I just wanted her to leave me alone. What could have possibly stopped these comparisons that made Silver sad? I sent Silver 5 messages over 6 months after our first conversation on Discord. She never told me to please go away or leave me alone. She lied. Hour 46 minutes 38 seconds to an hour 48 minutes 11 seconds. That just shows how dedicated they are and how supportive they are and how much of they put so much into making their partners happy, and I am so incredibly happy with them. That's why I'm so fucking pissed off, because she disrespected gamer subs, and they are the nicest people. I had dinner with the CEO and my reps, and they were the nicest fucking people. Sorry, I'm it's just fucking to take advantage of that, and to cost the money and effort from all the artists that worked on those merch things, and all the people behind the scenes that figure out the logistics in manufacturing, and to just disrespect them. This is heartbreaking. Because they are amazing, and I'm usually not oh, I love this company kind of person, but Gamer Supps is different, man. They're so different. They're wonderful people, and she was a partial owner, so it's extra terrible because that reflects on them, you know, and that is the highest honor you could possibly have, and to take advantage of that is so horrible. I love gamer subs too, so how did I disrespect or take advantage of gamer subs in any way in anything I did? I didn't, but that didn't stop Silver from claiming I did. Hour 50 minutes 20 seconds to an hour 51 minutes 36 seconds. I have Dockies for sale on Cuddly Octopus. I want to get another one. We plan out our drops like the whole year, so I have like a whole year of really cool drops planned, and we'll have another one in the future, so don't worry. The artist that I wanted to work with canceled on me, so I have to figure out another artist to draw it, but we'll be fine. Yeah, I don't want to assume, I don't want to straight up ask them, but I would not be surprised because they worked very closely with them. Based on the project, I can only assume this person we work closely with is artist number 2. If it is, Red didn't know Silver had anything planned with them that would have been cancelled. This would prove that artist number 2 couldn't have been one of the artists Silver claimed reached out to her after my cancellation if she didn't know if we were involved in this project getting cancelled or not. If artist number 2 reached out, that would have been something told to her. That leaves Nano and artist number 1 as the only 2 artists that could have reached out to Silver about anything Red or I said about her. The very next day, Silvervale chose to talk more about my fan art from 2021. Instead of correcting her story from the day before, she doubled down on lying about what really happened. April 30th, 2025, Silvervale plays Oblivion Remastered Episode 5 with more on Sinder on the YouTube channel Silvervale's Twitch archive. 14 minutes 23 seconds to 14 minutes 44 seconds. And I have a little bit more to talk about, or kind of address, elaborate on, I guess. I don't know the best way to phrase that and kind of explain some things. 16 minutes, 16 seconds to 16 minutes, 37 seconds. I really appreciate people that came back if they were here before. Thank you for rejoining the community and being a part of our home and hanging out with us again. I appreciate it a lot. It's nice to have you back. Silvervale makes another comment about her viewers returning, insinuating that I stole them from her and was keeping them from supporting and watching her in some way. On her previous stream, she said she would see some of her community leave. Both of these comments from her support what mod number 1 said to Red about Silver's announcement canceling her stream specifically during my anniversary subathon in 2024, meaning as far back as last summer she felt this way, if not much earlier. 21 minutes 31 seconds to 21 minutes 54 seconds. Like, I'm glad I feel relieved to be able to move on from things, but it's hitting me harder than I thought it would, physically. It's been a lot and it's been stressful to think back through the course of fucking 4 years, I barely did anything to Silvervale through the course of fucking 4 years. 22 minutes 21 seconds to 23 minutes 21 seconds. So there's one thing I wanted to, elaborate on. I don't feel like I really need to, but I saw some people that had some questions that I think are valid questions. So yesterday I mentioned the ship tag fan art. That was the very first thing I can think of that made me feel uncomfortable with the situation and is the first thing that made me question her motivations towards me. And I think some people were confused because you can find that art, but it's a different tweet than the one that gave me those feelings. So I don't want people to think that I was being untruthful or anything, but it makes sense that you can't find that tweet if you don't have the link to the original one, because she did repost it. I don't want people to think that I was being untruthful or anything. 23 minutes, 24 seconds to 24 minutes, 16 seconds. You can find it through the Wayback Machine, because I had the link to the old tweet because my mom had messaged me about it, which is how the whole thing started, and I was talking to Yoshi about it when she was messaged. Okay, so this is from the Wayback Machine, but that's the original tweet that she made, and she started the Cindervale tag and said that she wants us to be part of the same wolf pack someday. Here's the tweet as Silvervale showed it on her stream. In order for Silver to find this in the Wayback Machine, she needed the link to my original deleted tweet, and she said she had it because her mom messaged her about it. So because her mom did retweet my art contrary to the story Silver had been telling, is it more likely that her mom messaged Silver the link to my tweet she already liked, commented on, and retweeted, or that Silver saw her mom's retweet of my fan art and then messaged her saying she had a problem with it, prompting her mom to delete everything? I believe Silver was even lying about this. 24 minutes, 16 seconds, 25 minutes, 15 seconds. And imagine saying that from someone you don't know who has been posting art of them with people they don't know for weeks and really feeling uncomfortable about it. So it was really creepy and very weird and uncomfortable. And my mom was like, I don't know what to do about this. She was really, really stressed and really anxious. And I was really stressed and anxious. I think it went on for a couple days not being sure what to do because if I didn't reply to it, it looked suspicious. I don't know. Weird that I wasn't replying to it. The whole thing was very stressful. It was very weird and it came out of nowhere. It was really uncomfortable. First, Silverbear claimed I was posting art of myself with people I didn't know for weeks. She's talking about my skebs that I addressed in the previous section. Everyone I got skebs with knew me at the time I ordered them, so she's wrong. She said me posting these skebs made her even more uncomfortable when she saw my fan art. As you can see from the screenshot of Silver's stream above, my original fan art tweet that had the Cindervale tag was posted on January 31st, 2021, and wasn't up for more than 24 hours before it was deleted. Here is my very first skeb request with another VTuber. It was delivered to me one day earlier on January 30th, 2021. Here are my Twitter media posts from December 1st, 2020, before Sinder was even designed, to February 6th, 2021, after I had already reposted the fan art of Silver and I without the tag. There is one meme I made of myself and another VTuber that was posted before my fan art. There are no other art posts of myself with other VTubers because they didn't exist yet. So how can Silver claim that my non-existent skevs made her even more uncomfortable about my fan art of us together? She's lying again, making me sound worse by retroactively throwing that detail into her story. Silver goes on to say her mom didn't know what to do about this, and that she was really stressed and anxious over it. Her mom liked, commented on, and retweeted my post, so I find this hard to believe unless Silver was the one who went to her mom with a problem with it, and then her mom didn't know what to do. It literally wouldn't have mattered, but she couldn't even take accountability for something this minor that happened in 2021. If Silvervale didn't reply to my art, it wouldn't have looked suspicious at all. Does Silvervale reply to every single piece of fan art she gets? She talks about how uncomfortable and stressful and anxious this made her, but I was a nobody at the time. Here's my Twitter profile for March 16th, 2021. A month and a half after my fan art was posted, I had under 5,000 followers. I wasn't even a VTuber yet. It wouldn't be for well over another year. As I said before, I didn't expect any kind of interaction from Silver or her mom. Here's Silvervale's profile from February 2nd, 2021. Right when this happened, she had over 100,000 followers. 25 minutes 15 seconds to 26 minutes 53 seconds. And I think some people were wondering, like, why didn't I talk to her about it? I did actually message her about it, and I told her that the ship tag made me uncomfortable after my mom was messaging me. It was super uncomfortable, and after her manager her manager reached out to Yoshi. I don't know why. I think some people were also confused that it was Yoshi's art. It wasn't Yoshi's art. Her manager had just messaged Yoshi because he knew I was friends with Yoshi, which is also strange. I don't know why they didn't just ask me or my mom. Maybe that in their mind came off as too cloudy, but what they were doing was too. They knew what they were doing. It was very calculated. Everything was calculated for the sole goal of getting interactions to grow, which is something people do. That's why people make fan art, but when it's done so blatantly like this in such an uncomfortable way, that's where it becomes a problem. So our manager had reached out to Yoshi saying, like, why didn't Silver's mom retweet this? Do you know? In case I had talked to her about it, it was very strange. It was very weird, and I didn't want Yoshi to have to deal with it. I didn't want my mom to have to deal with it. It was very uncomfortable. It was very stressful. I get stressed very easily, and it hits me really hard. And I don't want to deal with things like that. Red messaged Yoshi because she was our only friend in the VTuber space at the time, and she was mutual friends with Silver. Silver has always had her DMs on Twitter closed, so I couldn't reach out to her, and I wasn't going to message her mom directly about unretweeting my art, since that seemed like it'd be even weirder than asking a mutual friend their opinion. It had nothing to do with being too cloudy like Silvervale is projecting onto me. None of this was calculated, and it's crazy for her to think it was. At the time, I was a nobody in this space, making fan art for people that inspired some aspect of the start of my VTubing journey. Red did not ask why Silver's mom didn't retweet my fan art. Silvervale lied to her viewers about this 2 days in a row. 26 minutes 53 seconds to 28 minutes 26 seconds. So I had messaged her, let me find it. I messaged her on Twitter and reached out and told her that I was super uncomfortable with the ship tag. I didn't want to interact with it, and it was very uncomfortable for me because I didn't know her, and she was like, oh my god, sorry, I totally didn't mean it to come off that way. But she did. But she knew that the only way for me to interact with it and get those clicks that she wanted on that tweet would be if she deleted it and reposted it without the ship tag, which is what she did. So I commented on the art like she wanted me to because I didn't want to escalate. And that's the first thing that ever happened that made me really uncomfortable and put the thought in my mind that she wasn't a genuine person. And yeah, that's where it started. That's where it was very strange and very uncomfortable and very manipulative, but I didn't tell anyone other than my mom and Yoshi. And that was always something that was in the back of my mind and why I didn't want to interact with her. Silvervale was looking for the worst in me from the start and completely twisted my actions towards her into some malicious clout-driven endeavor, when that's not at all what happened on my side. Silver never liked me, and she said as much. She said she didn't want to escalate things, but just like with Mythic in 2023, she could have just ignored the situation and moved on, but she felt the need to say something. In the image of our DM she showed on her stream, you can literally see her message acknowledging that her mom unretweeted my fan art and not the story she claimed. She couldn't have misremembered what happened after going back to find these messages to show on stream. She chose to lie about it. Silver said my fan art was always something that was in the back of her mind and why she didn't want to interact with me. So she lied to me directly in this message. She held a several-year grudge against me over a misunderstanding that I sympathized with her over and fully complied with fixing. 32 minutes, 13 seconds to 32 minutes, 38 seconds. My biggest concern is about you guys. I want you guys to be fully informed about everything, and I want you guys to be comfortable and for you to know what's going on with me because you guys are my whole world. You're what I build my life around, and I want to make sure that you guys know everything that's going on with me. I agree with Silvervale. I believe everyone should be fully informed about everything. In conclusion, Silvervale. I was not jealous of Silvervale, I did not obsess over Silvervale, and I did not copy Silvervale. For years, I have been harassed for being her lesser half, and my existence was discounted as a poor ripoff of someone else. The lengths people went to convince themselves I did everything to copy Silvervale throughout my career, down to copying her laugh, are the same lengths my friends must have gone to convince themselves I was somehow sabotaging them for years. Neither was true. My insecurities about these comments ate at me for so long, I've had to go to similar lengths just to avoid getting harassed over these comparisons. I've only ever wanted to get along with Silver, but I got off on the wrong foot with her because of my mistake in my original fan art post, and she never forgot that. Once it was apparent that Silvervale wasn't willing to show me the kindness and respect I showed her, and that I couldn't expect her help in ending these hateful comparisons between us, I resorted to agreeing with Red to ask Nano to stop making models for her. Eventually, one of the biggest things we were compared over wouldn't be an issue anymore. What we did was wrong, no matter how Silvervale treated me, but she quite literally lost out on nothing due to my actions. I didn't have a problem with Silvervale herself because of other people's comments about us. My problem was the way she treated me opposite to what she said to me when I did nothing to warrant it. She pretended to be friendly, then ghosted me, restricted me from her chat, and blacklisted anything to do with me, all without ever saying a word directly to me about how she really felt. Regardless of how I felt about Silvervale, I never did anything so petty to her. I made fan art of us together. I asked her to hang out offline once. I asked her to collab once. Over the course of 2 years, that was too much for her. Silvervale claims she was very direct with me when she wasn't, so let me be direct with you. Silvervale is a master emotional manipulator. If Shylily claimed I was a narcissistic manipulator, then I don't even know how she described Silvervale. She effortlessly lied directly to her audience. She effortlessly lied directly to her audience she claimed to care so much about through her crocodile tears. She manipulated them into giving her the support she felt I was taking from her for years. On stream, she would lie about me, then manipulate her viewers by saying how awful and stressful everything was and how uncomfortable and anxious I made her. She repeated the exact thing over and over again, turning me into the big bad wolf I never was, ending with how much she cared about and loved her fans. She manipulated the majority of her mod team against me, and even emotionally manipulated one of her mods for the sin of trying their best to help her out with something she asked for help with. Silver couldn't take accountability for her own actions towards me and lied about them to everyone when I was already down. Silver had to lie about everything she experienced with me because if she told the truth, it'd show her being at fault, not me. There was literally no reason to lie about what happened with my fan art from 2021. I was already cancelled, but Silvervale wanted to make me look worse for no other reason than that she could. She said anything she wanted about me because I was the only one who could refute it. I drew fan art of us together and she took it personally and held it against me ever since. Silver's been so full of spite towards me that if she wants to claim she wasn't lying about everything, then she's deluded herself into believing an alternate reality of twisted fan fiction where I've been the cause of all of her problems and her own personal comic book villain. She was never willing to bury the hatchet until she was able to bury it in my bag. How can anyone trust anything Silvervale says after this? Silvervale resented me for what she saw as me trying to use her, stealing her viewers and mods away from her, and being just as successful as her in my own right despite just being her copy. She became adamant to turn her mods against me, remove all mentions of me from her Discord server and Twitch chat, refused to do something as small as reply to each other on Twitter, and couldn't bring herself to even thank me by name when I rated her as to not give me any public validation. She could only see my words and actions in the petty, threatened way she chose to interpret them in. I was nothing but kind to her for years, and instead of just telling me to fuck off like she truly felt, she was two-faced, and then lied to her chat about her willingness to be direct. She pretended not to see my supportive messages to her for months while she lied to her mods about me and soft-banned me in her chat for simply saying hi every now and then. She expressed she didn't like getting harassed over comparisons to me either, but she could never acknowledge that simply getting along could have helped end that for both of us. I never expected her to do anything with me, just to treat me like a person. She was seething over my existence alongside her, and blamed me for every inconvenience she suffered in her career ever since I wrote hashtag Cindervale in a long deleted tweet. But she claimed she was the one that broke my brain. Maybe if she looked in the mirror instead of glaring over at me for 4 years, she would have recognized the problem. Just like every other situation I've discussed in this document, the issues with Silvervale were due to a severe lack of communication, a refusal to communicate. Silvervale didn't start my cancellation. But once it was in motion, she jumped on board to throw as much fuel onto the fire as she could. Ever since her years-long abuser was taken out of the picture and Silvervale reclaimed her community from me, she's been much more active than she's ever been, now doing handcam streams and even planning to cosplay. She's been profiting off of all of the lies she told about me, just like Nano, who's making a brand new model for her right now. Maybe people can stop being so fake. I don't know if they will, but you can hope, I guess. It's not hard to be a good person. It's really not. It's so much more effort to lie to people and manipulate people. And how did that not get stressful? Like, how did you not feel bad at least a little bit? A pattern of behavior. Speculation. Silvervale did not like me. It's very clear by her own behavior over the past few years, her own mods accounts, and her lies. My second debut anniversary was on June 25th, 2024. It's very likely evidenced by her own words on stream and the account of one of her longtime mods that she cancelled her stream on June 24th, 2024 because of my celebration subathon, meaning she knew when it was. In August of 2024, my Bikini debut and merch drop coincided with the week of Silver's birthday debut and merch drop, an important event for her where she debuted a similar pair of outfits to my 2.0 and Demon designs from the year before. Her Pixel merch drop was presumably completed and ready to release at any time, almost 2 months ahead of the eventual launch date on April 11, 2025, and just so happened to be released a week after my AFK merch drop on April 4th, 2025. I got to be cancelled for my anniversary this year on June 25th, but I was supposed to be launching a limited edition label of Pyro Power with a promo card on that day, both with art drawn by Nano, planned as far back as February. June 26, 2025, Silver had the same Bikini debut and merch drop I had during her birthday week and merch drop last year, a day after my anniversary this year. During her stream about me on April 29, 2025, she said that we plan out our drops like the whole year, so I have like a whole year of really cool drops planned, and in 2024, she had her birthday drop planned as far back as the start of the year too. In almost all cases, Gamer Supps lets creators choose when they want their drops to be. Her Bikini debut and merch drop was already put together before my cancellation, and she would have been able to schedule it whenever she wanted. If the pattern of back-to-back releases was to continue, I believe Silver planned this at the same time as my drop to spite me and overshadow my anniversary, the same way I'm sure she felt my Bikini drop did on her birthday week last year. Another thing I noticed were the unusual amount of similarities in our beach background environments, which were both done by the same artist. Her beach background from June 2025, my beach background from August 2024. A screenshot from her debut stream with her beach bar overlay, a screenshot of my debut stream from August 2024 with my beach bar overlay. But she broke me? And if she didn't make it clear, Silvervale prefers to not do collabs and doesn't want any transactional relationships. September 26, 2025, an X-post from Shy Lily. Birds of a feather. And that's the section. So the X-post was just saying that Silvervale and Shy Lily did a collab together. Dear Lord, that was a lot to talk about. Anyway, that is the Silvervale section from Sinder's 1,000-page Google Doc. Apologies for the flubs and scrubs all around. Just like I've said before in the previous streams, when you're reading a long time, I think I read like about 2 hours, give or take, you tend to slur words. And like you have to hydrate. Like it's not as easy as it looks, guys. To reiterate, the reason why I'm doing this is because I've seen too many content creators and drama tubers dismiss Cinder's 1,000-page Google Doc, if not cherry-pick certain things from Cinder's 1,000-page Google Doc to support the narrative that was pushed in April that Cinder's 1,000-page Google Doc does a good job refuting. So I think it is only fair as fans of Cinder just to sit down and take the time to read this. Another reason is you guys kind of have a pseudo audiobook now of me reading it to you. So not only do you see the words, you also hear it. So you get to hear what Sinder has to say about the allegations put against her back in April. Now, the progress as of right now of me covering this Sinder's 1,000-page Google Doc has reached 90%. I am almost done covering it. Once I'm done covering it, I'm going to drop this Sinder Google Doc. I will say, though, I will still probably be informed about stuff regarding this. I will just keep it on the down low and not like make videos about it. I'll probably put my thoughts about it on X or something. I like how in the beginning I was like, oh, I won't talk about it anymore. And then I'm like, oh, I'll just keep it on down low. A true drama tuber, I tell you. But that's neither here nor there. If you want to support Sinder, a link to her card will be in the description below. In her card, there will be a link to her YouTube and her Twitch, as well as socials. There should be a merch store in there. And don't forget to use code Sinder on checkout at gamersupps.com to get 10% off your order. Just throwing that out there. Now, with everything that's been said, I encourage you, the viewer, to go to the source so that way you yourself can come to your own independent conclusion.